And good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pattison Avenue Phanatics show. I am your host, James Scorza, filling in for Tom Kelly this week. With me, as always, is the group of companions on this beautiful Saturday morning, Joey Marks,
What is happening in Philadelphia?
Cowboy Dave Arnold,
How's everybody doing?
Frank Finnegan,
What's up, people?
and we will have, hopefully, Damon and Tom back next week as we are shorthanded. But we have a lot to talk about on this beautiful Saturday. We got the Eagles preseason finale tonight against the Dolphins, followed by the
Sixers
Sixers and the Phillies playing some great baseball as well. So, Joey, you're the man of the other. Where do we start?
We are going to start with the Birds because there's been a lot of huff puff about practice.
What's going on, Eagle Land, Joey?
Practice.
Well, we're talking about practice.
Oh, we're talking about practice.
We're talking about practice.
We're talking about
Okay.
practice?
So
Not a game. Not a game.
not a game.
Not a
Not a
game.
game.
Practice.
Practice.
Okay.
Because these joint practices are being, analyzed to death.
Okay.
And it's annoying me to no end because
Annoying you, Joey? No way. Never.
because it's practice.
Okay.
It's not a game.
Not a game.
It's not a game. It's not even a preseason game, which is an exhibition. It's not even that.
Right.
So we take it down one level and we're going to analyze it to death. So apparently the Eagles had a joint practice this past week. I believe it was Wednesday against the Dolphins. They're going to be playing tonight.
Mm.
And apparently Darius Slay got slayed by Mr. Tyreek Hill.
No, you're kidding.
And everyone, Twitter blew up because there were like memes being, created about, Slay getting scorched. I think there was one where there was a sword going through Slay's foot. Like, it was pretty creative. But I mean, here's where I'm at. Do you guys, A, like the joint practices? B, do you take any credence, any concern whatsoever in playing poorly during joint practices? Because apparently there is a record. We are 6-1 in joint practices. I don't even. Why is that even a stat?
Frank, take it away.
Well, it is practice. Okay. So if you're making mistakes in practice, that's how you get better in real time. So maybe Slay made, I don't know, a wrong cut on the coverage. He's going to look at the film and go, you know what? I better not do that again. So it's practice.
Let's put it in perspective, Frank. It is Tyreek Hill, and he's a pretty quick guy.
Tyreek Hill is,
Tyreek Hill.
He runs with roller skates.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
He's not the average man.
Right.
That Dolphins offense is going to be dangerous.
Yes,
think
they
so?
are.
It's going to be dangerous.
Well, they're going to be dangerous, except they have a bigger question quarterback than we do.
Yeah, and I was going to tap into that because at the end of that joint practice, Tua actually sung Jalen Hurts' praises. They were both teammates at Alabama, and the aforementioned replacement for Jalen Hurts in the championship game. This is a guy that sings Jalen Hurts' praises, and I think that Jalen lets other people say what they want to say, even if it's glowingly, because Jalen is a person that is like, I'm gonna let my play on the field do the talking for me.
Jalen's a good interview guy.
No, he is.
He is.
But where I'm at is, do you like? Because I'm with you, Frank. Tua hasn't proven anything yet to me in the NFL.
Right.
But you got a guy like that with the caliber of receivers that he has. He should have a much better year.
Absolutely.
And you could say the same thing for Jalen Hurts.
Absolutely.
He's got much better receivers. He should have a much better year.
He doesn't have Jalen's offense.
What's up, Willie Guns?
he
What's up,
does
baby?
not. No, he does not. Not even close. And that is a big, big distinction.
Yeah.
So my question is, do you take what Tua says, and does that change your opinion of what Jalen brings into the season?
Look, every single flag that goes up with Jalen is green. And I want nothing more than this kid to come into his own and be the quarterback that the Eagles need.
However,
I know. I just have questions on his deep passes. He puts a little too much air under it. If he can clean that up, I'm going to tell you something. If he get to the end of the season and he's got 26, 27 touchdowns and 6 rushing, my next priority is running back and safety with those 2 first-round picks in the next draft because I don't have to worry about quarterback.
so we're going to get to that in a couple minutes because I do want people's predictions on where your expectations are for certain parts of this team going forward into the season because I guess there are a high expectation for certain sections of this team. Jalen Hurts being one of them. So do you guys? I mean, James, do you put a lot of stock into practice, into these joint practices?
Well, I'll be honest with you. Since you brought it up, I'm not too concerned necessarily with Slay and Bird by Tariq Hill. I mean, he's just one of the best players out there.
Yeah.
Probably the best in the game and wide receiver. But I'm not too concerned, honestly. I think it's like probably just a bunch of mix and matches to see what you got,
Yeah.
honestly. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's good to know that you would try to stay healthy during those joint practices, but overall, I mean, I'm not too worried.
Yeah, I mean, Darius. So Slay actually, like after that play, came up a little lame. So
Lame as in what? Like ankle or
no,
what?
like hamstring.
Oh,
ouch.
hamstring. Okay.
See, now that
Okay.
that kind of thing sets off alarm bells, and
That's why I'm
it's,
saying
it's more disconcerting to me that they aren't approaching practice the way traditional football teams used to practice because a hamstring injury to me says you haven't done enough prep. That's stretching. If you're stretched properly, if you've exercised properly, that hamstring shouldn't pull. It just should. Not on a play like that, and not before the season starts. I mean, I can see it if the temperature drops to 10 degrees and you're going out there and you pull a hammy. It happens. You know.
Well, I mean, it's also a matter of it was like 108 degrees on the field.
I was just going to say
Yeah,
that.
So
that could do it too. That could do it too.
that's going to
You haven't
lead
hydrated.
to
Gets hot in Florida, guys.
Oh
a little
yeah,
bit.
especially in Miami. I
For
mean,
sure.
But I mean, the best way to stop Tariq Hill is to get home on the pass rush. Because if he can't throw the ball, Tariq can run up and down the field all he wants. But if Tua's on his back, he ain't catching anything.
See, I've always been a proponent of with the smaller, faster guys, you get physical with them.
Yeah,
You get physical with them at the line because as long as it's within 5 yards, it's all legal.
yeah, I get that, but that's not the way. That's not the way the game's played now. I mean, those guys, those guys with the striped shirts. You go 5 yards and 1 inch and flag comes out.
Oh, I know.
I
don't.
because,
I
This
think
is
it goes.
so true.
because
This goes both ways.
Believe me, I
too.
know.
It goes both ways because it could be 5 yards and 1 inch or 4 yards
yeah,
and like 9 inches.
yeah,
It doesn't matter.
And God forbid he should touch them twice in those 5 yards,
Right.
because you're only allowed to engage once.
Right.
You're not allowed to engage twice. And the NFL wants scoring. They want that board to light up like a pinball machine because that gets viewers. And Vegas loves numbers.
So no more 3-3 games there, Frank.
No more.
That's one of the reasons why
no more
defensive
3 yards in
players.
a cloud of dust games have been played.
That's why defensive players, I think, in the NFL right now have been like undermarketed. Other than Aaron Donald, like they've been undermarketed. I mean, you have guys like, I go back to Myles Garrett and the guy from the Commanders.
Right.
You guys, and then Jordan Davis. Like these guys.
He said it right, Commanders. You didn't say Redskins this time.
And it's the commies.
Yeah, I know.
We
But
probably have to get it right eventually.
yeah,
I guess.
and so my feeling was
Even Al messes up once in a while.
even my feeling was that these guys
It
are
happens.
so undervalued in the NFL and undermarketed. I mean, I hear more about Aaron Donald than anybody else.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I agree with Frank, but if you watch what people get marketed, you look at the Tom Brady's, you look at the Cooper Cupps, you look
Yeah.
at the Tariq Hills,
Yeah.
you look at
Is
those
this a
guys.
draft, Joey?
Well, no, I'm just saying.
No, he's saying
These guys get marketed more.
Yeah,
Right.
they're getting more marketing dollars in their
Yes.
wallets because they're offensive players.
NFL would rather have them sponsoring anything
Right.
versus someone like a Jordan Davis.
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
mean to interrupt, but we got to add some sponsorships to our Speaking of
Pay the
Commanders-
bills,
Pay the
James.
bills. Pay the
Speaking of
bills.
Commanders, we got PhilliesSportTrips.com coming your way as coming September 25th includes the Birds bus trip to DC, including lower level tickets plus food, drink, and entertainment for only $325. Visit www.phillysportstrips.com and never miss a moment with Philly Sports Trips. And I know they got a lot of going on with that.
I heard that trip's getting really crowded there, Al. Is that right?
800.
Yeah.
They sold 800 seats.
800 plus
They've sold 800
seats.
plus already.
So
out of 1,000.
you
Is that
have
what it is?
to.
Wow.
Here's the way that I proposed this before. Philly Sports Trips, phillysportstrips.com, and Vince over there does such an excellent job of making the experience like one in a million. Because for the price that you pay, you get treated like a king or a queen, and you get to have just an enjoyable time all throughout. And it's not just the experience of the game; it's the experience of like the tailgate, the food,
Get to meet new people.
you get to meet new people. You get to network. When I went to the Brooklyn, the New York Yankees game a year ago, I mean, Vince gave up his seat so I could sit like near Al and Joey and
That's
whatnot.
awesome.
And I'm like, it's your seat. He's like, no, it's your trip. He's like, this is why Vince is who he
He's a
is,
good man.
and this is why he's built who he's built. What the company he's built, what he's built.
All right, James, go
And
ahead. Go
The
ahead.
other thing too, if you probably have to deal with Raylan's disobeying, what was it back? What happened?
When you have railings giving out on you,
Yeah, if you have like Raylan's going out on you, you always could check out David R. Cherry at the Cherry Firm at David R. Cherry Esquire. The number is 610-565-0300 for workers' compensation, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, and criminal law. Gotta check them out today. Tell them that Pattison Avenue and EOP sent you.
if I go to the Washington trip, I'm going to
You may
need
need
him
his
on retainer.
services.
I'm going to need him on retainer.
Yeah.
Are you considering the Washington trip?
I'm considering it because my dad was a Washington
That's
fan,
right. He is. Yes, he had that.
and I have a jersey of his that I'd like to bury at the or
And what jersey would that be, Joey?
what was it?
I'm guessing a hog.
No, Doug Williams.
Oh,
Oh,
Douglas.
Doug
Williams.
Williams, there you
A
go.
Super Bowl champion.
So
was.
I mean, like that was the thing, but I don't have vision, so I'm worried about leaning on a railing because like I have to feel around.
Is that number 17, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes.
Yes.
And you have to feel around, and I'm like, I don't want to lean on a railing and then find myself
Not in that
free
stadium.
falling.
Not in that stadium.
Yeah.
Well, yes, that's my point. That's why I'm like, I need.
But if
David
toxic
R.
waste coming out of your
That's
gotta
why
look
I
up,
need-
Joey.
Well, unless I fall on Charmin Wentz, then I'll be fine. I'll be landing in tissue paper.
Yeah.
But
But overall, we got a lot of great lineup coming your way also on EOP with the paint and lines. Tonight, plain and simple. Like I said in the open, we have the Eagles pre-game with the Dolphins and then post-game with the Dolphins, followed by Matty B and the final like he does every single game. I mean, I don't know how he can never catch a. He can always like take a break for once in a while with the Phillies, but the guy stays busy with that. So check it out all, and also you see the lineup on Edge of Philly. So tune in for all of that and more. And guys, it's gonna be
That
a
board
fun.
is packed. Look at
Yes.
all these. Look at all these shows.
and
That's
more
stats,
and
all
isn't
good.
it?
That's all
and
good.
more to come.
Yeah,
We
that's all-
are
that's all
busy
good news.
people at
Much-
EOP.
Much more to come.
A,
But
a real busy group. Like it's like every day, like just like always,
Something going on every day.
for sure. Yeah.
and with that being said about the Eagles and Dolphins game, that leads me into my next question: was what do you want? What do you guys want to see out of this next preseason game?
Well, you're not going to see any regulars.
Well,
This is going to be the parade of the guys who are going to be cut.
On the bubble, Frank.
Yeah,
I think this
Yeah.
is going to be the opportunity.
that's why
for
they do.
reg-
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. I'm sorry. Right.
That's why they do the joint practices because they work the first teams out during the week, and they don't want the first team getting hurt in games like this.
Makes sense.
I mean, so you're going to see guys who actually need film time, who actually need to be like you're going to see Andre Dillard in this game, a lot of it, because
Is he on the bubble?
he's not on the bubble, he's on the trade, he's on the trade.
Is
line.
Jalen
that's
Rager
what
on
I
the
mean,
bubble?
too.
Is my question.
Yes.
I was going to segue.
He's not
into
on.
that,
He's not
too.
going to get cut. He'll get traded.
Yeah, I mean the other thing too.
What's up, Michael?
What's going on, Mike? There's a lot of concern with who's going to be that fifth wide receiver position. It's
Mhm.
like Deion Kane has looked pretty good. There's a lot of poise with him if he makes the team. Then you got like Greg Ward that's on the bubble. That
Greg
all
Ward's on the
depends.
bubble? I didn't know that.
I mean,
Well,
I
they're
don't
not
know.
gonna have
That all
space for
depends on who's going to be that sixth receiver. But either it's going to be either Covey or like we all know Pascal's going to be the fourth, obviously.
Okay.
But yeah, I think the biggest I think that tonight has to show me that Rager wasn't a bust. I mean, this is probably the one guy that has to come in tonight and say, okay, these like who's on the hot seat, and I think it's basically him. Like he has to show what he's
Rager's
worth.
absolutely a
So,
bust.
so Frank,
Oh, yeah,
I have a
absolutely.
question for you, and I want an honest answer.
Okay.
Who's your backup quarterback?
Minshew.
It's not going to be Carson Strong.
Stop
No.
it.
No,
I'm
no.
just
Yeah,
asking.
you've been
He didn't even
drinking
touch
too
the
I'm
much.
just
of,
asking.
You've been drinking too much of the Matty B Kool-Aid.
Sorry.
Listen, I had
He
hopes.
couldn't even beat Reed.
I had hopes that Carson Strong could be reclamated.
What if he shows up tonight?
He's playing against guys.
Oh, I get it, but I mean, what if he puts up pretty good numbers?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay,
no.
so if you're
I don't even know
asking
why
Matty
this is
He
even
doesn't
B,
have any
conversation.
NFL game experience. Minshew does.
this is what Matty B says, and he said this to me, and with a straight face, I could not hold back. He said Carson Strong
Uh,
will start a season game for the Eagles this year.
By week 9, he said.
By week 9,
That's what he
that's just
That's what he said.
that's ridiculous.
That's BS. I'm sorry.
That I'm sorry, Matt. I understand.
I love
like, I listen. You're a great analyst. I get it, but
Is
dude,
Matty B up this morning?
well, if he is, he's about to be because he's probably heard his name about 10 times already, and he's familiar with my voice, so he's probably like that guy.
That's a very opinionated guy.
Yeah, but I mean,
So
that's
so
reaching.
Minshew's going to be the backup.
Absolutely.
Well,
Who else on that team has
well,
NFL?
I mean,
backup
okay. Then I
experience?
guess my next question is: do you keep 3 quarterbacks? Do you keep 2?
well, that is a good question.
See, I think they keep the other. What's the other guy's name? See, I don't even know their name.
Senate.
Yeah,
Senate,
yeah.
yeah,
I think he stays. It's Strong goes.
See here,
Strong goes.
no, I think Sinet
Wow.
goes because Sinet is not
Wow.
good.
Practice squad for Strong. Okay.
Sinet is going to be the practice squad guy.
Okay.
He'll be the Mike Kafka of this
The
team.
Mike-
So you're saying
Mike
Carson
Kafka,
Strong will be the
Mike
third
Kafka,
string?
My God.
Are you saying Strong will be the third string and Sinet will be practice squad?
I'm going to go one step further, Frank.
You're gonna say second string.
I'm going to say second string because Minshew will not be here by the end of the year.
Why?
Wow.
Because
That's a
Howie
bold
won't.
statement.
Look, there's been a clear statement that Howie has made by the J. Jaw trade. And I actually have to give Howie credit, which is hard for me to even say that statement with a straight face.
Michael says Senate stinks, but go ahead.
So the reason why is you were going to cut J. Jaw anyhow. You were going to cut him.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Right.
Doesn't matter if you had to go the long way to go to short.
Right.
But you got a pick
Yes, you did.
for trash.
Yes, you did.
So I'll take it.
Absolutely.
And because that 6th round pick, you pair that with something else, maybe it goes up to a 5th or a 4th round pick. So now you start to kind of stockpile that middle of that draft, regardless of what year you were talking about. You start stockpiling for those guys who would do a lot better than J. Jaw. Let's be real. And so I think Jalen Rager's on the bubble
Yeah.
to get traded. I think Dillard's on the bubble to get traded. I also think Gardner Minshew's on the bubble.
Wow.
See, here's why I don't think Minshew's in the bubble, and it's because Jalen Hurts likes to run, and he's going to get he's susceptible to get an injury because he likes to run.
How many games did he miss last year, Frank?
He missed a few.
He missed
He
a
missed
few.
2.
Okay, so do you want
That would be a
do you
few.
want a capable NFL backup, or do you want
How many did Carson Wentz miss when he was here? A lot more than 2.
okay?
So don't give me that.
But
No.
don't give you what? Did you
Don't-
want a
don't get-
capable backup?
Well, here's my point.
Do you think they're going to make the playoffs this year?
Yes.
Okay, so Hurts gets hurt in December, and you're going to throw Carson Strong out there to get to take you home? I don't think so.
Carson Strong and Gardner Minshew are not that far apart in my mind. I mean, Sinet, he's
How many
way down there.
how many games in the NFL has Carson Strong played?
Doesn't Strong have bad knees though?
Yeah, but
How many games has he played in the NFL?
regular season?
Yes.
None.
He hasn't played any. Zero.
Right.
This is it. It's his first shot at the NFL. I'm sorry. I want an experienced guy behind him.
So you're going with Minshew.
Yes. I mean,
just asking.
So then,
look,
you know,
do we have a history
You're-
in this town?
You're going experience, which is fine.
Hang on.
Do we have a history in this town of an experienced guy actually producing in the postseason?
Yes.
Can we
but-
say the name Nick Foles?
Yes,
we can.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
But then I'm gonna come back and say we're gonna run into the same problem
Okay.
with Gardner Minshew that we ran into with Nick Foles. That we've had a debate with on this show years ago about the fact you're not going to be able to pay two quarterbacks.
Okay.
So
Okay,
what
look.
you're gonna have success
Right.
like this much. If Gardner comes in and has success like Nick did, you're still gonna be in that same dilemma.
No, we're not.
How you not?
Guys,
And
real
I'll
quick,
tell you
Mike
why.
says you guys are undervaluing Carson Strong.
I don't think I'm not undervaluing him. He is.
No,
Like,
I'm sorry, but Carson Strong is. I mean, and I love the kid's arm. I mean, the kid's
Kid can
got.
throw the ball.
for a guy that sits here and says that Jalen needs to throw the ball down deep,
Yes,
this is a guy in Carson Strong that could comfortably throw it deep.
absolutely.
So what the hell?
He has no experience, Joe, and we are definitely going to be in the playoffs.
Yes.
I want an NFL ready quarterback to take us to the playoffs.
But-
now let me finish.
Okay.
Okay. There's no comparison between Minshew and Foles. Okay. Foles was a pretty damn good quarterback for us. Minshew is he's just a rudder holder. He's going to be able to not hurt you. he's never going to take Hurts' job. He doesn't have Hurts' skill set.
Foles knew the system too.
Foles knew the system. And you can't tell me there's no argument you can make that Strong is leaps and bounds a better quarterback than Minshew.
That's not what I'm saying.
Well,
I'm
then-
not saying that, but I'm saying that Minshew, if you talk about level of backup
Right.
between Minshew and Strong, it's not like they're separated by miles.
Experience, they're separated by universes.
Okay, that's fine.
That's-
but by skill alone, they're not.
No, but I'm not talking about skill when you're making
Well,
a
win
playoff
your
run.
games.
I'm talking about experience in the playoffs.
I understand, but you said December.
Yeah,
That's not the playoffs.
but that leads into what I'm saying is if Hurts gets hurt in December and you got to go with Minshew, you want an experienced guy, or do you want to put Carson Strong who has no experience at all?
But
Take
by
us
that
out.
time, by that point, what? That we could be already in the playoffs.
That's true, but he still has no experience.
Okay, so
Still has none. Zero.
All right. So,
Absolutely zero.
so this is what my feeling is for what I want to see out of tonight's game. I want to see the guys that are the running back because Miles Sanders isn't going to be playing it. That is the weakest link in this team right now. currently.
Safety as well.
I don't
Safety as
know
well.
because my feeling is if the front seven and the top three corners, Slay and Bradbury and Maddox, are killing it, you don't have to worry about the safeties. Safeties are just playing center field.
Those offensive coordinators in the NFL get paid to find weakness, and the only
But
weakness,
if you
the only
got-
weakness I see on the
if-
Eagles defense is safety.
I don't agree. I feel like the weakness is running back.
No, I said the defense, the Eagles
Oh.
defense.
he said on the defensive
Yeah,
side.
I
as
said
well.
I said the only.
Well,
weakness,
yeah, okay, that's fair. But
Yeah.
you put 11 guys on the field, and what? 9 out of that 11 are strengths.
yeah, but
That's hard to
but I mean those guys get paid to exploit that, and that's what happens in the pros.
and I,
They find your weakness and then they exploit it.
but
Bill Belichick
Is-
built a career on
is
exploiting
Is the
weakness.
best at it.
He's-
That's for sure.
He built a career
well,
exploiting
we're not
weakness.
playing Bill this year.
I understand that, but there's a whole bunch of guys in the league that coach that way. That they look for, they have to. They don't have a choice because they know it's a wash at every other spot. So where can we go? We have to go where the weakest is.
Yeah, but you have to understand to get to the safety, to get to the weakness, you have to get to the third level. That means some offensive coordinator
It's,
has to figure out how to bypass the first two.
it's a 6-yard crossing pattern in the middle. And if you
They-
don't have
Whoa,
if you don't have a guy,
the safety's not going to be 6 yards. How's that going to be the safety's fault?
because he's going to have to come up and cover the
No, he's
the
not.
tight
The
end.
linebacker's going to sit there. The
Okay.
linebacker's 6 yards from the line of
I'm
scrimmage.
glad you're confident. I'm not.
Well, okay. So my point is, as a team overall, the running back room weakest.
Yes. agree.
That's where I'm saying.
On this team, the running back room is the weakest link. Is what you're saying?
Offensively, they are. That is the weakest link.
Wow.
The running back room on this team as a whole is the weakest.
No
link.
confidence in Miles.
I have confidence in him, but I mean,
No.
I don't have
You
confidence
just
he's
can't
going to
stay
stay
healthy.
healthy.
That's the
No,
biggest thing.
I don't have confidence. No, I don't have confidence at all.
Really?
He hasn't proven. What has he proven to me?
So is it Gainwell to you, Joey?
Joe, last year
What has he proven?
I'm just saying.
Joe, last year I made a statement that you almost fell off your chair when I said it. And I said, don't be surprised if Sanders gets traded. You went, why are we going to trade that guy? He's the best running back we have. That was the statements that I got from
I'm right there with
they should have
Mike
traded
saying,
him then.
like, I'm a big Hendon Drake fan. I think
They should have traded him then.
What about Boston Scott? He's still sitting there.
Boston's fine.
He looked good last week.
But is
like Will said.
Boston the bell cow?
None of the running backs.
That's
are the
what
bell
my
cow.
point is.
And you know what? On this offense,
And-
you really shouldn't need a bell cow.
I get that, but me and Al have been saying this for the last 2 years.
Saying
There is not a north-south runner on this team.
That's why I wanted them to draft Hassan Haskins.
That's why I wanted them to
so
draft.
Gainwell's not a
I
north-south
think
runner.
Me and Al both said that we wanted Sermon from Ohio State.
Does Gainwell doesn't go north to south?
Haskins and Sermon are the same guy.
Gainwell,
Yeah,
does
essentially.
Gainwell does not go north to south?
No,
Okay.
he's an elusive back, not a power back.
Okay.
And the only guy that I would put as a power back is the Kenneth. No, not Kenneth Gainwell. The guy from Texas, the fourth string. That's out
Kennedy
there.
Brooks?
Yeah, thank you, Kennedy Brooks.
He's looked good.
Do you think Howie's going to make a move to fill that room up a little bit for the season?
I think like if I'm not trading Minshew and I'm hedging my bet with the quarterback core, I'm trading Miles and Rager to get some certifiable running back in here because Rager is not going to make this team.
Who are you going to trade Minshew?
Who?
Yeah.
The Jets.
What?
The Jets don't have a quarterback. They have Joe Flacco.
Their starter's coming back.
How? He's got a torn ACL.
He said he'll be back in a few weeks.
Yeah, it turned out that the torn ACL was a base.
It wasn't that. It wasn't as bad as I thought.
It wasn't as bad as I thought.
Okay,
You know what I think? You know what I think a better trade partner is? The Dallas Cowboys.
I'll take
And not for
Minshew.
Minshew. For Andre Dillard. Because the Dallas Cowboys lost their left tackle.
Yes,
for
we
the year,
did. Tyron is
and they
out till December.
and they only have a rookie back at them.
Tyler Smith. That is correct.
Now I'd be happy. I'd like to steal a second rounder from him, but
You're not going
I
to
would-
railroad Jerry that way.
he's an idiot. Jerry?
He might be an idiot, but he's a fickle
Will
idiot.
Will
Well,
McClay.
we'll take a third
Will
round.
McClay will make that decision.
I'll take a third round from him.
He's a fickle idiot. That's what he is. So all right,
We actually called the Rams offensive lineman from last year.
Did you?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what they're saying.
well,
I don't know if he was called or not, but he said that his phone was ringing, and then he said, "You have to talk to my wife for me to come back."
you know,
So who knows what's going to happen
and
there?
I
Goes
go
right.
And Frank, you're gonna love this one. This is great. It gets better in Cowboy Land. Let me tell you. They're talking about Jason Peters was a name that came up.
isn't he still with
in-
Chicago?
No, he's not. He's a free
Oh.
agent. But here's the thing: they said that Peters actually been working out. So I don't know.
I'll go ahead, put him in there.
I said the same thing.
Put him in
What
there.
Why not?
Put
Get
him in
hurt.
there. Put him in there. JP's
A
been
41-year-old
stealing money.
Jason Peters.
He's been stealing money, and
Hey.
people keep giving it to him. They keep shoveling it across the
Hey,
table.
He's almost as bad as Jay Cutler.
I thought you got a kick out of that, Frank. You
Yeah,
know,
I
I thought you would.
I get a kick out of that.
So let me ask you guys. We're gonna break down where your predictions and where you see this certain positions and certain rooms going this year. So Jalen Hurts, Frank, I'll start with you. Where do you see this guy ranking?
Hey,
in the
Sean, how
NFL
are you?
in NFL this year? Where do you see him landing as far as like?
Where do I want to see him land?
No.
Or where do I
do
think
you
he's going to
see
land?
him land?
Like said, Cam Akers is
See-
available.
See, you and Al, I'm
That's-
glad Al's
that's-
here because you and Al
that's a
have a
really-
bone to pick with both of you.
Thanks,
this
Mike.
This is a hard question to answer because he didn't answer the questions last year. Okay, for me to come up with a complete opinion on where I think he's going to land,
Like,
because
is he top 12, top 10, top 15?
I you know what, simply because of the offensive line and the skill players that they have, If he doesn't finish in the top 12, then we have to move. Okay,
Wow. That's
we
big.
have to because he's got Howie has given him every single tool he needs to get the job done this year. Every single tool, and if he can't finish in the top 12 with the tools that he has, then he's not the guy. And I would hate that because now you have to use the draft capital you have for next year and spend it on a quarterback.
So James, I'm going to go to you, and then I'm going to pick on Alfred. Go ahead. Where do you see Hurts ending up at the end of this year?
Uh-oh. Look out. We're in trouble now. Here comes Al.
Here he comes.
Hello, Al.
I'm not entirely sure, but I think it'll be better than what Hurts brings. So I say like, if the sky's the limit for him, I think it will be a fun season for him.
Do you think he end up top 10? Could you see him as a top 10 quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, like,
that would
I
be
think
so
he could-
awesome if he finishes up there. I
I think he can be. You know, I mean, after last year, he showed me that he.
He's got no excuses.
No, he doesn't. That's the thing.
Time will tell, guys. Time will tell.
All right.
Yes, it will.
Better turn up this microphone over here. Number two.
Mr.
Go ahead, good brother.
There's a voice from the ethos right here.
Mr. Safiri.
What's up, fellas?
From the EOP show himself.
Good morning.
Can you hear me out there?
Good morning.
Yeah, turn me up.
I got a bone to pick with you.
Ooh.
Me and Frank? Oh,
Yeah,
he's asking
because
for it.
I'm
guys
glad it's
are-
not me.
You guys are in the same boat because you guys are like in the same boat, paddling the same boat, and I got a bone to pick with that.
Okay, bring out the bone because I'm gonna break it. I'll break it.
All right.
What's the bone?
Keep
I'm
paddling, Frank.
I'm gonna treat you like Sam Darnold's ankle right now.
Keep paddling, Frank.
You
Gonna make him
two,
look like Joe Theismann's leg in a minute.
you two keep hedging your bet.
That's not a hedge.
Yes, it is.
Oh, hold on. Let's see what he
Okay.
says. Let him go.
So you guys keep hedging your bet because you're like, I'm not going to jump on the Jalen Hurts train yet,
Right.
because I want to see what he does. That is hedge. That is
No.
the definition of hedging your
No,
bet.
that's not
Because you're
hedging.
waiting to see if when he becomes successful, then you're able to say, well, that's a nice, delightful thing that he did. Other than just saying, I believe in the kid because he's shown that he's not a second string, third string. He's not a quarterback that people thought he was. There was a statement that was made by Freddie Burns after Jalen Hurts got traded. I mean, after Jalen Hurts got drafted, that the reason why he didn't have as much confidence is because he got replaced by Tua. But everyone in this city says Carson got us to the promised land with the Super Bowl. He got us to the playoffs. Nick Foles got us to the Super Bowl. But we don't want to say those. But everyone who sung the praise of Carson for that year doesn't want to look at the same body of work that Jalen did to get Alabama to the national championship game. It's not the same thing, but it is. I mean, that's the thing is this guy has proven intangibles. He's proven stats. The only thing he hasn't proven to many people is that he can't throw a 50-yard pass. That doesn't always, equate to success. That just equates that you can hit a guy down, that you can stretch a defense. You can still be a successful quarterback in this league as a dual threat quarterback, and B, not being able to have to throw a 50-yard pass 6 times a game. This is why I'm saying you have to either believe, and I'm not saying you have to believe he's a franchise quarterback. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you have to kind of put a line in the sand and say, this is what I believe in. What Frank said earlier, I think he should be a 12th, a top 12 quarterback. Okay. That's like, I think he could, but I don't really have that strong confidence. Me, I feel like by the upgrades that has happened to this team with the receivers, this guy is a top 5 quarterback.
Wow. That's big.
You want to take this, Frank?
you-
And I'll-
you-
top
and I'll-
5?
And I'll follow you up.
Oh, you can do that.
All right, I'll
Okay.
take it. All right. So, guys, just in general, not just Joey, in general, when you buy a car, what do you do?
Kick the tires.
Okay. Take it for a test drive. Do you commit to it right away? You go, screw it. Give me the dotted line. I'm going to sign on it. No. What I've been saying is, and it's funny because me and Frank are like, we've said, I said on my show, I know I've heard him say in the past, 12-ish right now. Because would you guys agree that maybe you think Howie Roseman's a good GM right now, right?
Most
He
of
got an
some of
A
us
for
do.
this
Has he put a ring on his finger yet?
Maddie, plug your ears.
Yeah.
No,
No,
listen,
I'm saying.
I gave him an A
The-
for this offseason.
Hold on. This Eagles organization isn't putting a ring on this finger, but you're not upset. But you're upset that me and Frank haven't done it yet. Like, here's my thing is
On Howie? Howie's got a ring on his
no.
finger.
I'm talking about Jalen Hurts. My thing is yes, we have the intangibles that if we took pieces of Carson Wentz and him and put them together, yeah, we would have the greatest quarterback right now.
He'd be a world
No,
killer.
you'd have the most
But-
injury-prone quarterback.
But my point is, he can't hurt you anymore. Just let it go. Can't hurt you
Yeah.
anymore.
Uh,
But my point is,
Let it go, Joe.
there is some major flaws in his game that we need to see it gets better before we sign on him.
All right, what's the major flaws other than not being able to throw? Because I've heard that beaten to death by
okay.
Frank.
Okay. I don't
What
know.
other
I
flaws?
don't know if you were paying attention in the Tampa Bay game, but he locks on to one guy. He hasn't proved that he can completely and fully read a defense and go through his progressions, which is kind of important for a guy who wants to be a top 10 quarterback, and unbelievably important for a guy who
Top
wants to be a top
5
5 quarterback.
You know,
Okay.
Frank,
So wait. Now you had your minute.
No, I
Now
got
let me talk. Now, Joey, I love you. Your devotion to your teams is unquestioned. Okay. But at times it's not objective. And this is not objective. Now look, I love the Eagles. I bleed the Eagles. If you notice, well, you didn't notice, but I brought my Eagles hard hat
Yes, he did.
because it's time to go to work. All right.
Frankie's ready.
I want nothing but this kid to be what I really think he can be, but he needs to get stronger. He needs to prove that he can look off the first 2 receivers and dump out to the third option. He hasn't proved that yet.
There's his flaw.
Okay. He hasn't proved that he can throw the ball 40 yards downfield without the receiver standing there waiting for the ball. I haven't seen an in-stride pass longer than 20 yards from this guy. And I want him to do this. I really do. But he hasn't done it yet. And if we're going to go forward as a franchise with a quarterback who can't make a 30 or 40-yard out, then we're not going to go very far. And I don't care if you think 5 passes at 50 yards stretches the defense. It's a huge difference if those corners know we don't have to play 2 cover deep. We just don't. We can come in. He can't make that throw. And if he does, we're going to pick it off because our safety's going to get over there in time to get it. Because it happened last year more than once. I'm sorry, but my doubt in in Jalen's ability is valid. It doesn't mean I don't support him. It doesn't mean
Thank you.
I'm hedging my bet.
that
It
is
means
hedging.
no, it's
No,
not
it's
You
not.
hedging.
just said,
No.
you
Joe,
just said
Joe,
that
that's not
I
hedging
have confidence, but I don't feel like
because
is
he
there
hasn't
yet.
proved it, Joe.
But
You know, I have
okay, but
confidence
wait
in
a
my
minute. Wait,
banker.
whoa, 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 whoa,
I have
whoa.
confidence in my banker, but if my banker wastes my money on
wait,
investments,
Joe,
wait,
let him finish.
wait. How has he not proven it? That stats that he put up last year for a rookie quarterback.
Wasn't
Wasn't his rookie year. You can't
But
say
it
that.
was.
No, it wasn't.
He had 4 games. Wait, whoa. We
Joe, what
consider
happened
Ben
midseason?
Simmons
What happened
rookie-
midseason?
We consider that a rookie year when he got hurt.
Good point, Joe.
I mean, here's the thing. He played 4 games in that prior year. He
Yes,
played
he
a
did.
first full
Let's-
season
Let's
as a rookie. Wait a minute. As a rookie quarterback. And he put up the stats that he did. That's not nothing. And I'm tired of people going, well, 800 yards rushing. He set the record for rushing touchdowns by a quarterback in his franchise.
okay. That's fine.
So wait,
It's not a
so how
40-yard
that's
out.
Not nothing. How is that not nothing?
I didn't
This
say
is
it's-
not. This is not the league anymore. And you've said this to me plenty of times. It's not the way the game is played anymore. You said that statement countless times about countless things. This is not a league of pocket passers anymore. It's just not. It's not built that
I'm
way.
not saying it's a league of pocket
So,
passers,
When
but you have to be able to throw the ball.
When you evaluate a quarterback now,
Uh-huh.
you can't just evaluate it by passing yards. You
Uh,
can't just evaluate it
I'm not
by
evaluating.
one tunnel vision stat.
Okay. All right, Joe. Let me ask you a question. What happened going forward from the Raiders game on last year? What happened with the Eagles going forward from the Raiders game?
They won
How?
By beating the other team. That's normally how it
Okay,
happens.
that's a
right?
cop-out answer, Joe, and you know it.
What?
What did they do that
They
made
ran the
them win?
ball, but they.
Oh, whoa. Wait a second, Joe. Wait, you sit down.
Gentlemen, let him
They
finish.
That
ran.
doesn't mean
Joey, let him
Wait a
finish.
second.
Let him finish.
They threw the ball ad nauseum before that, and he proved he couldn't win throwing the ball. So what they do? They changed their offense completely and went to their strength.
Right. Who called the plays prior to the Raiders?
It doesn't matter.
Yes,
He's the
it does.
quarterback on the
That's
field.
the whole point.
No, it's
No,
not the whole
it's not,
point.
Joey.
If you
Wait,
you can call it.
Wait. You just said, what did they do?
Right.
They changed their play calling.
Why?
Because it
That's
wasn't
adorable.
working at nauseam.
Why?
It wasn't working at
Why?
nauseam.
Why wasn't it working?
You can't throw 90 times.
You can't throw, period, if you don't know how to throw.
Right. He had
And he
55
did not.
attempts against the Chiefs.
Well, against the Chiefs, you're going to have to throw it 55
But
times.
that's
I'm sorry.
the point. Like
This is true.
that's not the point.
That's a bad example.
But the Chiefs also have a terrible.
But my point is this: the reason why he was throwing it at nauseum, A, because his defense wasn't stopping the other team, and B, because Steichen wasn't the one calling the plays. Nick Sirianni was calling bonehead plays and not calling proper.
So you
plays.
don't put any responsibility. You don't put any responsibility
say
for the
that.
lack of production
I didn't say
on the
that.
fact that Jalen
I didn't say that.
couldn't perform the plays
I
that he
didn't say that.
practiced.
I didn't say that. What I'm saying is the pressure you expected, what your expectations were prior to the season were low. But
Yeah, I just
for the
wanted to
team
say-
as an overall. But for Jalen, they were like sky high. How do you have a 5-win team, which is what you called, and have a great
I
quarterback?
had 6, but go ahead.
Whatever.
Right.
But how do you have a 6-win team and have a good quarterback? You don't.
Okay.
That's an ass backwards statement.
Okay, but they had to completely change their offensive philosophy in the middle of the season to accommodate the fact that Jalen couldn't pass.
You mean running the ball, be successful in this? Wow. So you
All right, hold on.
You mean the Pittsburgh Steelers?
How
you
successful
mean the
was it against
Baltimore
Tampa?
Ravens, you
Not
mean
too
all
good.
those teams that won Super Bowls
How
doing that?
successful was it
Yeah,
against
but how
Tampa
many
in the
hundred years ago
playoffs?
was that?
I understand, but it's still a scheme that works when you have the right people to do it with. Even when we
Yeah.
won the Super Bowl in 2017, how many running backs did we have and how much did we run?
Hold on. Yes, running the ball can be successful. Running the ball only cannot be. What do we always
agree.
say? What do we always say is a balanced offense? 60-40, either way.
Yeah, 60-40.
Something like that.
Actually,
70
I'd rather 60 passing.
Yeah. My point is, he has not proven 100% that he can do it. Am I wrong, Joey Marks? Has he proved 100% that he is a fully capable top 5 passing quarterback in the NFL?
Now, why are you saying pass?
Well, you're calling him
Well,
a, calling him a top 5 quarterback.
Hold on, time out.
I said he's a top 5 quarterback.
I didn't say top 5.
All right,
No.
So,
You said top 5 quarterback in this league.
So-
Right.
so
I didn't say top 5.
So you're telling me if he was a character in Madden right now, you would have his speed jacked up, you would have his running abilities jacked up, but you would have about 40% on his arm. This is how you would build Jalen Hurts. And you think
Who's Mr.
Yeah.
Wing? Go
I
back
don't
to
know.
that. Mr. Wing?
I don't even know who the hell he
Go
is.
back to that. Mr. Wing said, to be fair, Watson was ranked as #1 quarterback and had a 4-win team.
Yeah, well, no, all right, Mr. Wing. I'll give him my
We
point.
also had DeAndre Hopkins.
I'll talk about
Will Fuller
I'll-
and everything.
Who's
I'll
Mr.
give
Wing?
you my opinion on Watson in a minute. And it's before any of this
Mr.
stuff that
Wing?
came out. But my point is, we are not crazy for thinking there is some flaws in his game that could make him not a franchise quarterback just yet. Can he fix them? Can we find out? And we won't know until game 3, 4, 5. Because we all know the first couple games nowadays there's like preseason,
Gotta get
because
your
they
legs
don't
from
have-
under you.
They don't get 4 games to play now anymore. They get these open practices and that's it. So we'll find out after a few games because they right.
I'll
Listen,
do a mea culpa.
listen. It's not going to be a culpa. I'm not
Going
sitting there
on
saying he
stress.
can't do it. I'm just saying I got to see him
Yeah, we
do
got to
it.
see it.
We haven't seen him do it.
But then once you see him, then you'll be like, I knew he could do it.
No.
You'll
See,
you'll
that's
never
where
hear
you're-
me say that,
you're-
Joe.
Yeah.
I just said I'll do a mea culpa.
Spaz
It's not
said,
gonna be a
okay.
culpa.
someone give
Me
Joey a
culpa-
hug.
Listen, my point is, it's very simple. If he comes out and does what he does, I said this on my show the other day. if he can come out and do what everybody hopes, like what you think he can do, Joey Marks, that is an awesome thing for my team. Like
Yeah.
you said, or Frank, what you guys said earlier.
Draft capital.
We have 2 big draft pieces we can draft, and we can go. It becomes a luxury draft.
But what I'm trying to get at with you and Frank is
Okay.
the difference between where my belief is and where your belief is. Because when that happens, I'm the guy that believed in it
If that happens.
from this gate.
Go ahead.
Right? No, I get it, but I believed in it from this gate, and now I feel like when that happens, you and Frank become
Okay.
happy.
All right.
Hold
then
on,
you
hold on.
guys will
Joe,
Hold
jump
on one
onto that.
second. Hold on
I
one
will
second.
give you. I will give you. Go ahead.
This says face. This might be Joey Sheeran. I'm not sure because his always comes up that way. But if Jalen Hurts has a good season, are you opening the checkbook? I mean, you have to.
You have to.
You
yeah.
have to at that point. I
Yeah.
mean, technically, I
I've
think
heard the numbers.
technically, I think he has one more year after this. But my
Yeah.
point is,
He's still in his rookie year.
my point is you don't go in there because if he balls out this season and then you wait the next season, he balls out again, the price tag goes up,
Oh,
and
yeah.
up and
Oh,
up.
yeah.
Right.
So I would imagine if he comes out and plays and does well, I'm not even saying
Dax did. But
I'm
go
not
ahead.
even saying you want him to be a top 5 quarterback. I'm not even saying that. Right now, I have him somewhere around 12, 13. And maybe if you look in the
NFC East.
No, okay, NFC, fine. In the NFC, he might be even higher up in the rank. But if you add
Overall.
I mean, if you just look at the AFC West, I mean, right now those
He's not
4
even-
guys are all
he's
better
not-
than him.
All better than him.
He's not
All
better than
better
any
than
one of
him.
those
You
guys.
got to remember they got to play each other's play.
Yeah, but
So
no,
that
but he's
doesn't
not
matter.
better than
But
that.
that's not. You're talking about matchups.
Derek
You're just asking me
Carr.
about you're asking me about
You're
quarterback
inserting him
ranking.
into that top into those 4
I
guys.
agree.
You're
But
saying
I'm saying,
you're saying it's
here's-
those 4 guys
Russell
and then Jalen
Carr.
Hurts.
I want to go back to something because you said top 5 passing. That's not what
I
I
didn't
said.
say top 5.
No,
it
I'm
was me.
saying
It
Al.
was me. It was me.
I said I didn't say top 5 passing. I said top 5 quarterback.
All right.
Meaning
Meaning what?
Wait,
because
what?
this is not a passing, just pocket passing league. The dual threat quarterback league. You have guys that are more mobile than they are pocket passing.
That's great,
You're
John. I
doing
love
some
it.
real mental gymnastics.
It's not serious until the glasses come off.
Yeah.
What did I?
Johnny.
No, nothing.
Yeah, I was making a joke.
Just making a joke.
My point is, it's very simple. I don't have to sign on the dotted lines, and obviously the Eagles organization has not signed on the dotted lines with him yet. If he was as good as you were saying, they would have got him into the
Would've
most
backed up the truck already.
team-friendliest QB contract you can do in 2022, right? That would have happened by now.
They have the
I'm
same
not crazy
questions
for
we-
thinking that, and I'm not just saying this because the Eagles aren't doing it. I'm not on the board
Can
yet.
you-
I have not seen enough for me to say he's a franchise quarterback. We have a luxury again this year. We just said that. We have 2 first-round picks coming up. This is a quote-unquote quarterback-heavy draft class coming out. You know, all the
And all of them are dual threat quarterbacks. by the way.
so, but the dual threat's great. The dual threat's great, but ultimately, what wins? Would you rather have a great pocket passing quarterback who can be a little elusive, or a really elusive, fast quarterback who can kind of throw the
Hold
ball?
up. Tom Brady has 7 championships.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call Tom Brady elusive at all.
That's my point. Is
Right.
what would you rather
but what
have?
I would say is Pat Mahomes, who's a balanced dual threat quarterback, like he's the elite in that hybrid.
Him and Russ.
You know, right. Well, I would put Pat over. Russ,
Yeah,
but
well, only because Russ is old.
right. But Pat's probably going to do more in his career than Russ. But Pat is like the elite of what that hybrid looks like right now in the NFL. Like the NFL quarterbacks are going to look more like Pat Mahomes. Maybe not as good, but going to look more like Pat Mahomes than a Tom Brady.
Hold on one second. James, can you put that last comment back up on the screen, Mr. Wing? Mr. Wing said 12 is good enough to get to the ball. I am not disagreeing with that, but that means the rest of the team around you has to be elite. You have to have an elite defense.
Yep.
We have the O-line
Yep.
to make a 12, anywhere from a 12 to 15 quarterback look that much better. But how many times have you looked at a team? Tampa Bay was hot garbage until you put Tom Brady on that team.
This is true.
Right? The story came out that the Raiders were gonna trade from him. Took Gruden.
In fact, I can tell you a story about Tom Brady. Sorry,
So do I,
Finish
but
your-
go ahead.
But no, I'm saying, when I went last year to the
Did he
Cowboy.
touch you?
No,
Oh, okay.
but when I went last year to the
Breaking news.
Cowboy Tampa game, and I was there,
Yeah.
and I was in line waiting to get into the stadium, and the lady says, "We never had a crowd like this until Brady showed up."
So
She goes-
my
she goes-
Tom
Because-
my
because
Tom
the-
Brady.
Time out, Joey. The line was backed up. It was backed up like for miles, right? And then
Absolutely.
all of a sudden she goes, I had season tickets for years, she said. And all of a sudden when Brady came to the place went from like nothing to like thousands in a season. She's like, it was amazing. So
My
you
Tom
know,
Brady story is
that's how
this,
great he is. you know?
is that San Diego Chargers
Mhm.
prior
disagree,
to
Nicky.
Brady being drafted, the GM had eyes on Brady for that draft and passed saying he's not going to be a talented enough quarterback. This is the idea that when you put a quarterback like Brady with guys, because understand something, outside of Randy Moss, Tom Brady didn't have like a premier receiver in New England. He just didn't.
Never did.
Right, but other than Randy Moss, because I have to exclude
Yeah.
Randy Moss from that conversation. But the idea that now you look at like a Patrick Mahomes and this hybrid type of quarterback, more and more are coming out. The guy that just won the Heisman from Bama is basically made up like Jalen Hurts.
Mhm.
And you're going to get more and more and more and more like that. Are they ever going to live up to Pat Mahomes? Would Jalen Hurts ever live up? No. No. I will never say that on this show. But Jalen Hurts is that exact prototype of what the league is turning into.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with any of that.
That's why I say top 5 quarterback.
Okay. What I disagree with, not disagree so much. My only point is he hasn't proved that he can do it. And he just hasn't. So I can't make an evaluation based on I love the Eagles. I have to make an evaluation based on what my eyes tell me.
Yeah, that's
'Cause
our,
I-
my
that's our
eyes tell
job
me-
right now.
My eyes tell me that he has to prove it.
So what did he like? I know what he lacked, but statistically, this guy last year didn't do terrible for a guy who started his first full season.
No, he didn't.
No, if you want a fantasy football
But I don't
player,
want a
yeah.
quarterback that doesn't do
No,
terrible.
But that's not my point.
He's a fantasy
Like,
quarterback. I'll
top-
give him that.
He's last year statistically, he was probably in the top.
So is
third.
Kirk Cousins, when I remind
Yeah.
you.
This is true.
Top
Yeah, but
third,
Kirk
well-
puts up fantasy numbers. He
Right.
does.
That's about it.
Yes, he
But,
does.
I mean, so did Philip
That's
Rivers.
Captain
for a
Kirk
while.
to you, sir.
My friend used to start Philip Rivers for his fantasy team because Philip would always be down. So he would always have to throw. But my point is this: is that Jalen Hurts statistically was probably in the top third of the NFL quarterbacks last year.
And I put them around 12.
Right. Well, that's last year. That's last year.
Okay.
We're talking about progression.
That's if
Okay.
he has progression.
If he
yes.
has
Well,
progression.
Yes.
well, he's already
The-
going to have progression by the talent of receivers he's got.
You
He's
hope.
not-
You
Time will
hope.
tell, Joey.
You hope.
Time will
Whoa,
tell.
whoa. You're telling me that this pick of these receivers this year in comparison to last year? I mean, we already
No.
said this before.
Hold on.
He's
hold
got
on.
talent,
Hold on,
Joey. There's
number
no
one,
doubt about that.
Nobody's denying the fact that he doesn't have better talent, and everything pointing in the arrows should be pointing
AJ
into
Brown,
progression. But
Devontae
hold on,
Smith.
hold on,
So then we
hold
get
on, hold on. James, can you put Nikki back up on the screen for 2 reasons? She's kind of hot, and second of all,
She is kind of hot.
I want to see. She said, no matter what happens, we draft QB next year. Nikki, I will answer this question. If Howie Roseman is Howie Roseman of a year and a half ago, yes, you're absolutely correct. Howie Roseman continues to not make the same Howie Roseman type mistakes. You're probably wrong.
I believe
But-
that
But
Where's
hold
that
on,
Matty
hear me
B
out.
quote?
They will draft a quarterback next year, maybe, but no, it won't be first
Won't be in
round.
the first
It won't be a
round,
first
yeah.
round.
Nikki,
It'll be
thank you for
like-
checking
if
in. We
that's what-
appreciate
Not-
that.
Well,
I
it
believe
will
the
be.
debut-
It will be if Jalen doesn't answer the question.
I believe.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. And obviously they're waiting to find out because they would have signed.
They would have
into
paid him
this
already.
They would have paid
He's
him
not
already.
this far out.
There
Yes,
would have been
you
talks
could get him
already.
cheaper.
You
Not
would have
this
seen.
far.
You
would
could
have
get
seen-
him cheaper now if you do it now. You
In-
can and you put
Well,
this
they
much
said the
money on the
same thing
table.
about
in
Carson
2022. Hold on, in 2022, you would have seen a tweet from any one of these big guys out there, like Jalen Hurts' camp is talking to the Eagles camp about. Nobody's talking anything about
Nobody's-
contracts with
Hold
him.
up.
No,
So-
Nobody.
no
is.
talks
Hold
happening
up.
there.
So I love this because you guys are saying, well, if they had confidence, they signed him now
Right.
for that extension. But you remember when Carson, the year before his last year, got signed to that long contract, and everyone was like, "Yep, we
When
got
did
him on the
when did they
cheap."
sign that deal?
The year before that, last year, was contract rookie year.
No.
Rookie contract.
After they won
No.
a Super Bowl.
Time
No.
out.
It was
Jeff,
after they
One.
won the Super Bowl. It was
Yeah.
the off season after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's when they gave him the
Right,
contract.
but I mean, I understand
Based on the
that,
11
but
games
that
he had
was-
played, based on the 11 games he had played
Nobody
in,
thought that
in
was a
that
bad
season,
idea.
nobody thought it was a
No,
bad idea.
I'm
And
not
by the way,
saying-
that was a teamish
I'm
friendly
not-
contract, by the way,
Yes,
might
it
I
was.
add.
I'm not saying it was a bad idea, but they realized after the fact that it was a bad idea because it was a bit premature. Because understand something, what did he become after that season? He didn't become the same guy in those 11 games.
Well, listen.
We never saw
But
that Carson again.
listen, here's my thing is, and I'll tell you, if Carson Wentz,
That's a big can
if
of beans you
Carson
gotta
Wentz
open up.
didn't have the personality defects that he has, he'd be here right now. He'd be as
Yes,
happy.
he would be.
He'd be happy as can be.
Yep.
The problem is him and Jalen Hurts are, like I said, are yin to yang.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts, we know, has the personality,
God, his kid's
the
got every-
leadership skills, the intangibles, as
Everything
everybody
you
put it.
need.
And those are the huge things. that
Good
are
interview
missing.
guy.
So they're not. We're not saying they're not important. My point is, talent will override that. Aaron Rodgers is apparently the biggest douchebag in the world, and he's still.
I will testify to that.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, I don't think we need Dave Yarnold to testify. I think everybody talk to anybody in his family, they'll tell you. Like,
Aaron Rodgers,
The
not a
only
fan.
guy, the
But-
only guy that I know will actually voluntarily let leak his on his skin. So,
But-
all right.
But take Tom Brady. Here's a guy who gave up money and huge contracts to make sure that this team could.
Because
Hold
his
on.
wife makes
He
good
didn't give
money.
up
Al.
money.
Well,
He didn't give up money, Al.
The
Don't
new
do
Sam
that.
you're
Bradford.
telling me that Tom Brady could have made a lot more money because he's never been the top
course he
5
could.
paid.
Hold up. Did he not make a whole boatload with TV12?
I'm talking.
And
no.
the
I'm
TV
talking about
deals?
from the NFL.
Talk about it.
No, I
contract.
understand, but why do
The
you
stuff
need
out-
that money if you're making money on other
Why not?
sources?
What has ever stopped any of these guys, any one of them, from saying,
First
you
of
know what,
all,
I'm already making $100 million with
First of all, the
Now,
the
he's
Players
making a
Association.
salary from Fox, and he's not even in the booth yet.
Yeah, but Joe, the Players Association would never let him do. Oh, you know what? Let me have a $6 million contract so I can help the team.
Yeah, give me-
That's never happening. The Players Association is never going to let a guy
their
the
cost.
caliber
Well,
because
I
it downgrades the rest of the product.
Well,
Not
yeah,
for
it
Brady.
waters
Just like
down the other
just
guys
like the
that want
opposite.
money.
All right, and somebody said about Deshaun Watson. I think it was Mr. Wing or something said
Yeah.
it. All right, so here's my thing on Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is, and it was before even any of this stuff came out. I was never a big Deshaun Watson fan. I'm gonna be honest.
Really?
I thought he was very good. And he kind of Michael Vickish in the beginning. Like I used to blast Michael Vick when he was on the Falcons.
Yeah.
I said he was a great athlete.
Yep.
So quarterback.
Yeah.
But he does it. But he had the abilities. But he was too dumb to get out of his own way.
Got better as he got
and
older.
thought he was until he actually got in trouble and admitted he did something wrong and said, "You know what? I need to sit down, stare at tape, look at the books." And then he became a much better quarterback.
Much
He got
better.
humble.
Yes.
Now with Deshaun Watson,
Oh.
that take a lot of things. That whole organization's been run by a bunch of Mickey Mouse crap.
This is true.
It was
This is
not,
true.
so that's not that. But here's my thing with Deshaun Watson. The Browns made a huge mistake.
Oh my
They
God.
set a precedent that they should have never said. You know what the NFL should have done? I made this comment on my show a while back. People thought I was nuts for saying it. Deshaun Watson hasn't done squat, right? He hasn't earned anything. He's just a really good talent, right?
Yes.
He screwed up. He spat in the face of the NFL, as
Yes,
far
he
as
did.
I'm concerned. What the NFL should have done is they should have put his head on a plate.
Yep.
They should have made him example. You want to think you're better than the NFL? You want to think you're better than this organization?
Here's what I think.
This is what I think. You'll never play a lick of football again. You haven't done
Here's-
jack
You know what-
shit.
you-
to
Yeah,
prove
but you know what?
otherwise.
You know what's going to stop that? You know what would stop that? There's always an owner out there that's going to go. I can.
Ask Colin Kaepernick that.
Yeah,
I
well, I
know.
was
Well,
just
that's
about to
different.
say that.
That's a different
It's true.
thing. That's-
But here's
The
the
Colin
thing.
Kaepernick thing.
If you
is-
get
is
black,
about-
if you get blackballed,
yeah, but
you get blackballed.
there was a huge. I mean, there was a difference for that. They made Colin Kaepernick the bad face of the BLM movement.
Mhm.
Okay, and that was advertising dollars going down the drain. Okay, that's league wide.
You don't think advertising dollars go down the drain when a guy has like 60 plus?
Accusations?
Well, not even that. Massage therapist that gets sex with in a year and a half.
Well, here
I mean,
you know,
even this is the thing. Use the word
Al.
rape or anything. I'm just saying the guy has. He has. If you have a guy like, let's take Pete Rose for a second.
Oh my God.
You know,
There's a name.
and
I love
Pete Rose.
Pete,
Yeah, well, a lot of people loved Pete
Yeah.
up until they found out. I used to be like, yeah, put him back, let him be in the Hall of Fame until
No.
I found out.
but
The guy had guys procuring young girls for him.
Well,
So
Yeah.
that shows me this guy has certain flavor that he likes. This guy shows me the same thing. He's a deviant
he's never going
in
to
the
change.
sense that he likes the situation, the power that he has over
Right.
them,
I-
whatever it is. And,
Well, you
that,
can't-
and I'm
I
not
will
going to.
go-
We're not going to get into the huge Deshaun Watson conversation.
No,
No.
I'll
Tigers
go
don't
one
change
step
their
further,
stripes.
and then we'll
He's
move
going to do
on.
it again.
I'll go one step further with the Deshaun
We've
Watson.
been on this Eagles
comparison,
tap
and
for
then
a
we'll
while
move
now,
on.
guys.
So I am reminiscent to Ray Rice and what happened with him.
Oh, that was an elevator.
And that was, they went through the whole domestic violence campaign the NFL did. Now, I know that it's not a domestic thing, but it's still a woman's respect thing.
Right.
And that's where they should have said, nope, we're going to raise the flag on this guy. And I agree with you. They should have put his head on a pike and say, look, you're a great talent, but there's the USFL. Go play there. So, because if you set a bad precedent, everyone else is going to.
I think if I'm the NFL, I outside of any how you feel about the situation, I feel he spat in the face of this one of the biggest, if not the biggest organization on the planet. And they should have made, like, listen, the guy hasn't won anything, hasn't done anything to make you go, oh, we have to keep him around. He's the face, Like they used to force Michael Vick to the face.
I don't know how they didn't give him a whole year.
But he can. I mean,
they could still.
he can play
So,
though. We'll give that much.
we're going to move on to the Sixers.
Sixers.
Yeah, the recent news for the Sixers schedule.
There's a basketball team this year.
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't know if any of you guys have had a chance to look over the schedule.
I haven't seen it.
No.
I'll be honest with you.
I haven't seen it yet.
I just know about the end of the
I've been
schedule.
perusing it.
Thanks,
tonight, last night. Thank you, Al.
Thanks, Al.
Sorry, I had to pick on you.
It's not the first time.
But,
Look it over.
and it won't be the last.
He's a big boy.
So, the Sixers schedule came out, and I looked it over last night and today. I'm scared.
Are you?
I'm actually.
I haven't seen it, so I can't say anything. I don't know.
I am very
I'm going to tell you this.
skeptical.
I know this. I was listening to because schedule came out,
Because
and he was talking about and
I'm not even worried about just that, Frank.
their
I'll let
last
you know.
25 games is a march through Siberia.
Yeah.
Really?
It's
But
brutal.
It's
brutal.
worse.
wow,
There's
Yeah.
bits
I have
and
to check it out. I
pieces.
haven't. Like I said,
It could be the difference. They could go into those last 25 games sitting in the second place in the Eastern Conference,
Right.
and come out in seventh.
Wow, it's not. It's that brutal.
Frank.
Wow.
Frank.
Yeah.
I'm worried about them not being able to break the top four.
No, I think they'll be top.
And I'll tell you why.
You're that worried?
Yes.
Wow.
Because so October, they have a pretty good schedule. Back to backs. There's no back to backs. There's a lot of time. There's tough teams, but you have to play tough teams no matter what. Normally the back to backs that really can kind of put a strain, especially the back to backs against certain
It's a
teams.
long. 82 games is a lot.
Right.
It's a lot.
So October's fun. November, in the month of November, we have 3 different times when we play back to backs.
Yeah.
Against really good
Yeah,
teams.
it's not a fun.
Back to back's tough. That's hard. That's
That
tough.
is,
you know?
but you have 2 of those.
There's no cupcakes on those back to backs.
No. Well, New Orleans and OKC,
Yeah.
maybe, but that's still on the road.
Yep.
So that's tough. And then you have like
any
Utah.
game on the road's tough. I mean, come on.
Well,
be
you have
honest.
the back-to-back at home in November with Atlanta and Utah.
Right. Ooh.
That's tough.
Jesus.
That is that,
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Was it you who said?
No,
Oh,
No, that
that's
was
how I reacted.
Yeah, that was me.
that was
Okay. That's how I reacted.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Wow.
whoa, that's the first back-to-back season.
Atlanta, then Utah.
Atlanta, then Utah. Now we're
Wow.
home, but still, that's tough. And then we have a good December. December looks a little bit like October. And then January, we get butchered. January 2nd and 3rd is a back-to-back. But then prior to that, we have one where it's New Year's Eve so we have back-to-backs in 5 straight days.
Don't they play Christmas Day too?
They have New Year's Eve and New Year's
I thought it was Christmas.
No,
Christmas Day,
the
right?
30th, yeah, Christmas Day.
Okay.
Then they have the 27th, and they have the 30th and the 31st. So they have back-to-back then,
Mhm.
and then they have another back-to-back between January 2nd and January
Now
3rd.
30 and the 31st. Are they on the West Coast at that point? Are they? Do we
I
know?
think they are on the West Coast.
Because usually that time of year they're on the West Coast.
Yeah,
Never mind.
and here's the other thing: they are going back and forth. It's not back and
So
forth
like
like
a
every
lot
other game.
of traveling is what you're saying, Joe?
There's going to be a lot of travel.
Okay.
Well, you know what, Joe? There'll be one thing that when it gets to that point, the Sixers season, we're gonna have a really nice distraction with the Eagles in the playoffs. So
No, I agree. But this is what I'm worried about. By January,
Yeah.
do not agree that by January you know what your bones are on the team. By that point, you know where we're kind of going to start to end up. Getting
So
closer to
we'll
the
know
playoffs.
where we are at that point. in
Right,
January.
and then I agree with Frank. It's the last 25 games.
yeah,
It's butcher.
it's
It's
a
the murderer's
baton
row.
death march. It's a baton death march. It really
So
is.
my question to you guys is:
Gauntlet?
I know
Oh
that
my God, yeah.
you guys haven't like really perused the schedule, but is there any concerns for you guys going forward with this season that like any teams that you're worried about
Oh,
facing?
the Celtics, of course. That's just
Okay,
that's always
you know, basketball's so on the back burner for me right now.
I get it.
Because of what's happening with the Phillies and the Eagles.
We're gonna get to the Phillies soon.
the Celtics are going to be always tough. They're always good.
I guess I don't have to worry about the Flyers for probably the next 10 years.
Yeah.
So,
According to Pat Bernard, you have to worry about him at all.
so
the Gobbler he is
you know,
one
when it
hand
gets-
happy camp
when it
with that
gets
team.
When it gets closer to playing the sixth season, I'm going to have into that. I just know that if they're not in a good position come February, it's going to be a bad spring.
What's the definition
ugly.
of a good?
They have to be second
Third,
second or
or
third in the conference by that point with a comfortable cushion.
Well, they could be like 6 seed in the in the East.
I don't want to have to be. I don't want.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, it could be. You know what I'm saying? They could be a 6 seed.
Yeah,
it's the top 8.
Look, they're not going to drop out
In the
of
middle.
playoffs. They're
Right.
not going to drop out of the
Oh
playoffs.
no, I'm not saying that.
But what may happen to them is they may drop out of home court advantage, and that's going to kill them.
Where
Sixers are tough at home.
where do you see this? Where you're about this season? About the Sixers season?
Well-
and I mean, with all these back-to-backs, that's
Embiid's got to stay healthy. That's the whole thing. I mean,
Well, he stayed healthy last
he
year
did,
until
but
the playoffs.
if you're saying all these back to backs, I mean, he may not be playing these back to backs.
No, he won't be. He won't
know,
be.
And they got that. They got the. Didn't they get a backup center? Backup center this year?
No, they didn't.
They didn't get one.
No.
I thought they did.
They got PJ Tucker.
PJ
You
Tucker.
count him as backup center.
Is he?
Houston did, but that was a mistake.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't know we still had D'Antoni.
Depends what depends what kind of Harden you're going to see too. We don't know.
What did
Well-
Houston get as a center? Who did they?
Houston.
Yeah.
Depends what kind of Harden you're going to see too. Is Harden going to be? Is Harden going to be the Harden we know?
Houston had like
I don't know.
6 picks.
Oh,
Like
okay.
they kept trading in and out. I mean,
Gotcha.
Houston was the most busiest team in the NBA draft.
Gotcha.
So they are in full rebuild mode, and like that's the thing. But with a lot of these back-to-backs, you have LA, you have I believe there's one where we play.
Didn't LeBron just sign a 2-year deal with the Lakers? I think he did.
Did?
I think he
Get an
did.
extension?
Yes, I think he got an extension. Yeah.
Well, we also heard about the rumors about Patrick Beverley,
Heard that.
and him and Russell Westbrook have had a 8-year rivalry.
Yes.
So that's going to be an interesting days of our lives. So
Lakers of our lives.
yeah, seriously. But we
Could be a
actually
soap
have a
opera.
back-to-back, I think, in late January out west. I believe it's with the Lakers and with Dallas.
Probably Denver.
Denver. Yeah, you're right. Denver.
Okay,
So
makes sense.
you got, there are some highlighted games. You have the Christmas Day game in New York.
Is that in New York?
It's in New York.
Okay.
It's in Madison Square
In
Garden.
the Garden.
And then you have the season kicking off with Celtics and the Bucks. That is
Celtics and the Bucks.
Yeah.
Wow,
those
that's
are the first 2 games.
Yeah.
Celtics
that's
and the Bucks.
that's brutal right there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, it doesn't start well and it doesn't end well.
Right. and my feeling is
Giannis in the first 2 games.
and my feeling is the Hawks are going to still be dangerous.
They're always tough.
Is that in Milwaukee or is that here?
I believe
don't
that's
know.
here. I believe.
That's not good.
So, and then you have in November 22nd, you have the Brooklyn Nets coming to town.
Wow, they're a circus act right now. So
And
we'll see what happens.
I'm
what's
not
your
worried
Ben
about that.
report say?
I haven't heard anything on the Ben report. It's been a
I'm
while.
not worried about
I'm not.
Brooklyn.
The Ben report's all. We'll go back to when the season
Is the
starts.
Ben report dead, Dave?
No, until when the season starts, we'll go back to the.
They're making Ben a center.
Oh God.
Does he?
They're making
That's
Ben.
that's.
They're
doesn't
making
surprise
Ben.
me.
They're,
Yeah, he will. Yeah.
they are
Except for
making Ben
migraine
the
treatments.
5. They're making Ben the 5.
I can't believe it.
let me explain something. I said this on the
I
car
can't
ride
wait
up.
for Embiid to play it as a 5.
Ben at the 5.
Ben hasn't touched the
is
court in 2
reminiscent-
years.
Ben at the 5 is reminiscent of another Ben that played 5. Ben Wallace. Because he's literally the epitome. Not consistent with the free throw line.
Yeah.
He's not a good shooter.
Right.
He's
Well,
literally
no,
the
we don't
reverse
know
of-
if he's a good shooter because he won't shoot.
Yeah, that's true. But I think one what works with the other.
But
If
he-
you
but
can't
he can,
shoot, you're
but
not
he
a
can
good
play
shooter.
defense, right?
Oh no, he's look. I'm not going to take away from the guy's skills.
He can play defense.
The guy has amazing skills.
He does.
And
Okay.
he played defense
Which
as a
makes
5.
what he
Sure.
does in the sports lexicon a crime, because he takes all that skill and ability and just goes, screw it. I'm just
Yeah.
going to do whatever the hell I want.
So Dave, I have
I'm
to
Ben
ask,
Simmons. I'm doing
do you
Yeah,
everything.
think that he's going to have the same good quality defense at the 5? He's not.
Yes.
He's not.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
He's not going to be guarding guards.
No.
No, but
Wings.
he's going to be way more athletic than any really big
I agree.
center.
But you
So-
get a
and
guy
he's-
that like
I mean,
Zion
but-
Williamson.
Is Kyrie still? He's still with the Nets, right? He didn't
Yes, he
leave.
is.
So you still got Kyrie and
Yeah,
KD
yeah,
and Ben.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got one that thinks they're.
I know.
You got
Drummond
one that
left. He
doesn't
went.
wanna
I think he
shoot.
went to
You
Golden
got one
State.
that
One of the
wants
teams
out.
out
There's
there.
two guys. There's two guys in the
Minnesota.
league that are, well, three, that will take him to school at the 5 position, and that's Joel, Giannis, if he plays the 5. He normally doesn't play the 5, but he can,
He can.
Yeah.
He can.
and Jokic.
So one of the big,
Joker.
so the Joker is going to be coming at some point later in the season.
Oh,
So my hope is that Joel is healthy.
Well-
because I want to see that matchup again.
Denver comes here once a year.
Yeah, I get
We
it.
always see him.
But my question, so I need people to kind of walk me back, because as I read this schedule, started to feel like my win prediction is early.
Right.
My win prediction started to,
Did it?
and I'm like the way this is going.
Talk to
It's
me.
way
Not
too
talk to me. What season start? October.
Yeah.
Okay. What are we in August?
Yeah, we got a whole
Talk
other
to me
month
in
before we-
September,
I
October.
get it,
Yeah.
but my question to you guys is, should I be
Ha ha ha, Mr. Joe. I see your comment right there.
should I be overly concerned because of what I'm seeing
You are
up
so rough on Ben.
with the schedule?
Well, I mean, you can't be overly concerned because the schedule is
You're
what
rough.
the schedule is, and they're going to do what they're going to do. Does the schedule look daunting right now? Yeah, but when the season starts playing, we're going to see how it falls out. I mean, the teams that are on paper right now, and you look at the Sixers schedule, you go, it's not friendly.
They might surprise.
No.
They might win some
Right.
games where they
I
weren't
kept
supposed
doing
to.
the
Yeah,
They
but
might win some games they're not supposed
you
to
don't
win.
know. You don't know who's going to turn an ankle. You don't know who's going to pull a hammy. You don't know who's going to decide they don't want to shoot the ball. I mean, you know,
last year I was able to say confidently, like I was able to say that in the beginning.
Yeah.
I can't say
50 this
that
year.
no,
this year.
no.
I can't, and that scares me. I'm like, all right, am I leaning more to 48 wins?
Yeah, I'm thinking
like,
45 to 50. The way the schedule, on paper, the way the schedule's lined up, it looks like a 45-50 win season.
So you got to think at 45, 50 wins, that really doesn't put me great.
But,
6.
as I said, 5 or 6. I said in
Yeah,
the middle.
that's
In the
six.
middle between. Yeah.
But here's the kicker. To get to that 45 or 50, they're already going to have most of those wins before they get to their last 25 games.
So if I'm the Sixers, I would aim for the 4th spot because then I'm guaranteed a home game, like a home series.
It-
And
Well, that's
Yeah.
where
There's
they
no
were last year,
guarantee. That's
right?
why I
No, I'm
said,
saying, but I'm aiming for that 4th.
Right.
I mean, if I can't get
Yeah.
1, 2, or 3, I'm definitely aiming for 4.
yeah, if they're
You know?
not sitting with like 38 wins with 25 to go,
Right?
it's not going to be good.
No,
it's
not at all.
not going to be good.
I mean, that's where I'm.
38 with
that last
25 to
25
go.
games,
My God, they could win.
I mean, 25
They
games.
could win
is
10 of them
basically-
in 25.
25
That's
games is
just-
basically a quarter of the season.
Uh,
And
It's that daunting.
that's how. And then I
Wow.
looked, so that quarter of the season, along with what I looked at for November and January, I'm like, oh, Lord. Oh, like, all right, like, what did we do to piss? I mean, I knew we pissed the league off. Jesus.
Paul Mancini says, I see the Sixers as a 4th or 5th seed with another second exit in the 22-23 season.
You know what?
Well,
Depends
that's
on the-
way too early.
Yeah.
We're way
Yeah,
too early.
Paul, we're not there yet.
All right, let's
So let's go on to your Philadelphia Phillies. the baseball
Absolutely.
Team
Good.
that's,
Baseball team in this town, Joey?
that's hunting for Red October.
Hunting. Interesting.
hunting for Red October.
Okay.
And, like, my feeling is this. You have the cavalry is here.
You and that Calvary.
The cavalry showed
And
what
P3.
it is about.
Thank you, Mr. Calvary, man.
So you have doubts
That's a what?
of what Bryce Harper brings to this team.
I didn't say that.
Okay, don't question the
I'm-
cavalry.
You and the Calvary. There you go.
He likes the cavalry charge.
I would
That's
love to hear
fine.
this.
I like the cavalry charge.
I got no doubts that they're going to be a second. To me, they're going to be a second wild card team, and that's basically where they're going to stay.
How are they looking on my numbers?
Because right now the Mets are winning the division. To me, Mets are winning the
Noah
division.
is scrambling. for
Well, he
numbers.
just got the 9.
And Wheeler
He's
just
got
got.
the 9. He's
Right.
got to
Wait,
get
didn't
3
Wheeler
more.
just go on the
Three more.
IL? Is that
Gotta
right?
get
Didn't
3
Wheeler
more.
just
I think
15?
they did that on purpose.
He's got to
Why?
get 3 more, Frank. And
Why would they
he's
do that
only
on
gonna get-
purpose?
They don't need him in the next 2 weeks.
You don't think so?
Ooh.
He's got to get 3 more wins. He's only going to have like 7 more starts.
That's okay. 3 wins and 7 starts against who we're playing is possible.
Who-
And to
wait,
answer your Wheeler question,
Yes.
okay, by doing what they did now,
Mhm.
actually, I have to give credit to my son for this.
Okay.
Because my son thinks stuff like this. By doing what they did now, and when he's projected to come back, when they end the season and start the playoffs, the rotations as they are set up right now, it would be Wheeler, Noel, Suarez in the playoff.
Okay.
That's how,
You think it's
and
gonna
they would
Suarez?
be on program
So
time.
you're putting Suarez in the three in the
Oh, absolutely.
over
He's
Syndergaard?
earned it. He's earned it.
Okay.
He's earned it. He's earned
I
it.
won't disagree with Suarez being 3.
No, he's earned it.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, this is a guy that's got a sub-2 ERA.
Yeah.
This season.
I guess what's bugging me the most about this team is I know they're winning. Get it? They're beating teams with the Reds.
So they
Oh,
should.
Stop.
Reds.
Stop.
Well, look, the only
No.
team, the only
Joey, the Reds are a double A
Look,
baseball team.
look,
Come on, I was
look,
there Monday night. I
look,
saw that.
Look,
Anyway, go ahead.
the only reason,
Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you. You do it this time.
Way ahead of
You
you.
do it.
Come on now.
You do
Come
it.
on now.
I'm not doing it.
So-
the second time.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Did the Mets and Braves pretty much play the same exact teams we're playing this year?
Earlier.
Exactly. So if we beat them earlier and not now versus what they're doing the opposite, what's the goddamn difference? I
It
am
isn't. There
tired
is
of
no difference.
hearing this. Oh, we're beating the yes. What do I say all the time, James? You hear me say this 1,000 times. Good teams beat bad teams. Okay,
It's
And
on the
that's what you-
schedule. I get
The
it.
only team that has give us fits is the Mets. It's the
Okay.
only team.
It's the only-
We've beat the Dodgers. We have a better record than against the Dodgers, against the Cardinals,
Against
against
the
the,
Brewers.
Padres.
Is that going to
against
work in the
Brewers.
playoffs?
Can I go home now?
Does it matter in the no, hold on.
Is it going to work in the playoffs? Are you
Does it-
better than the Dodgers right
yes,
now?
yes,
Yes,
does
they're
it work
better
in the
than the
playoffs? Absolutely. Absolutely. But right now, as you know, none of these wins you get, I don't care if you get 75, 85, 95, 105 wins. They don't mean jack shit when it comes to the playoffs.
No.
It is clean slate at that point.
Yep.
Got to make it first.
You got to make it first. But right now
You're not
they
there
have
yet.
And
yeah,
they're
right
there.
now they have all the schedule in front of them to allow them to do that. They have the players coming back in front of them allow them to do that. There is no reason that you should not be happy and excited about this team making the playoffs. I'm not sitting here go get your World Series tickets, pay for them now. I'm not saying that, but I would tell you get the money ready.
So
You're that confident in this team.
I'm not sitting there saying World
You're
Series.
telling you.
But get your
You're
playoff
You're
series.
calling it.
Get your playoff series.
But you're
money
calling
ready.
it.
Get your
Not be
playoff
excited.
I
series
called
ready.
it last week.
So
I called
The
it
Nats
last
did
week.
it. Hold on.
At the beginning of the
Why,
season.
why was it okay
No, but
for
I
the
called it
Nationals
last
to
week
do
where
it?
they're going to be.
Why was it okay for the Nationals to do it? They were a shit team when they won the World Series. The Braves, they were under 500 before the All-Star break, and then they come in and they go on some vicious tear. Let's see. The Phillies were doing really bad up until right before the All-Star break.
22
And
and
then they
29.
went on a tear. So why is it okay for all these other teams to do that? I'm not sitting here trying to puff my chest out. I'm a realist.
Yeah, you're puffing it out real good.
That's why I'm a realist. That's why I'm to the whole Jalen Hurts situation. I
Okay.
see what I see. I'm not betting my life savings on them going to the World Series and winning, but I wouldn't be 100% surprised either the way
Well,
they're playing.
I'm not going to say they're going to win the World Series because they'd have to play a team like Houston and the Yankees.
So
Yeah.
However, I'm going to jump off the Joe Marks
Oh.
cliff. Right? Phillies are going to the World Series.
You keep saying that.
Phillies are going to the
No,
World
they're
Series.
not. They're not going.
Phillies are going to the
Are
World
they better than
Series.
the Yankees?
all right, I want to get
didn't
back
say
to
that.
that.
What did I just say? I just said they're not going to beat a team
Hold-
like the Yankees or Houston.
Hold
That just came
Okay,
out of
I
my
heard
mouth.
that. But I'm
Right.
saying, are they better than the Mets?
No.
First off,
There's your
but you
team.
might not have the.
Doesn't mean
I've
they're
been-
not going to be in the World Series.
I've been saying this for
might not
a
have
couple
to
months now. I've been saying this for a few months. It's gonna be a Subway Series.
Can I make two statements? 'Cause
the
I
Mets
let-
are
I
just
let
about to
people-
Met against
They are
the
not going to
Braves.
Met. It's not going to happen.
Hold up.
Really?
Wait a
What's the lead?
Wait a minute.
they
I'm
have
gonna-
Because they
every
keep
winning?
winning. They're winning games
I'm
like
gonna,
left
let,
and
I'm gonna
right.
make two statements,
Not
and I'm
when
gonna
they
let
play
James
Atlanta.
put his point. So to capitalize on what Al said, last year the Giants and the Dodgers had the two best records in the season. Okay, did they win the World Series? Did they win the World Series? Okay, thank you. By the way, remind me, when Washington won the World Series, when Atlanta won the World Series, did they go in as wild cards? Oh, right, they did.
Oh, so you're just saying a wild card's going to win the World Series?
It can.
I can.
Yeah.
And NL East, it's more prone to, that's clear,
The
to
Phillies-
have already done
The
it.
Phillies
I
are
mean,
projected to win 91 games.
Do you guys play poker or any card games?
No,
I'm not a card game guy.
Okay. Okay. They're the term chip in a chair.
Chip
A
and
chip
a
in a chair. As long as you have a chip and a chair, you have a spot at the table,
That's
you
true.
can win.
Yes, that's true. That's right.
And there's nothing wrong with having that hope right now. Listen, people, I talked about this on Wednesday's show with Joe because we were talking about people's complaining about attendance being down.
It was down.
It is down. But let me remind you guys something.
19,000 Monday night. But go
Listen,
ahead.
because it's Monday night. It's a week people are either going back to school on their last vacation, getting things ready. It was rainy, delayed.
rainy.
There's
Yes, it
no
was.
reason. The Phillies, listen, the Phillies haven't had a winning team. So we were 500 last year.
Yeah.
That was the most winning team we've had in a decade.
11 years.
In a
Yes.
decade. So, yeah, people are gun shy about spending their money. We were all high on them in the 2020 series. We only had to win one of the last four
They didn't
games.
start their
Couldn't
sellout.
do it.
They didn't start their sellout run after they won the World Series.
So, my point is, they will come back probably next year. I've said that next year because little economy issues. It's not cheap. I just took my
It's
kids
not.
there.
It's
I
not.
just took my family there on last Sunday, and I dropped $400 or $500 very easily. That was
Yeah.
probably being on the cheap side.
Yeah.
My point is, I'm not worried about the attendance. They'll come back. Red October will stoke those flames. I will not just talk about people buying playoff tickets. People will be buying their season tickets for
ticket
next
holders.
year.
I will say this. I said this on the Phillies final with Matty D, and I threw this out there. I was very highly disappointed in the Philly fans that we got outnumbered in our home ballpark with Mets fans.
They do that all
That
the
just-
time.
Yeah.
But that
Mets
just-
fans took over Citizens
that
Bank
ticks
Park.
me off. Number one.
Well, look, if
Number
you're
two-
Okay,
let me put it to you this way, Joe. All right, you're a season ticket holder, and I'm guilty of this because I sold my tickets to Boston fans. Okay,
Oh,
Did you?
you know how much I got for those tickets?
I understand.
I paid for 3/4 of my season selling those tickets.
There you go.
So I mean, yeah, I'm giving
Okay.
up 2 seats if I'm going to get $700.
Okay.
Okay, if you got a sucker from New York that wants to pay you $400 a seat for a ticket, guess what? Come on in, have a game, enjoy the game, my friend. Thank you.
Knock yourself
So-
out.
Yeah.
And listen, and they'll go away.
Yeah.
They're
Out.
Holbrook was on the show with you played golf with the other day. He was on the show a week
My
before when
man.
I was on vacation, and he said this is what happens. They come out every 7 years. And then they're going to go right back in their hole when they get let down. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that they're going to implode and not make the playoffs or anything. But you know what? We saw how 2010 worked out for us. We had 4 aces. We had Chase Utley at his prime. We had Ryan Howard at his prime, and we couldn't get past the first round.
Yeah.
So those guys already have themselves their World Series tickets, and you know what? They'll get let down.
And I'll say this. I'll say this, Dave, is that one thing that's missing out of the majority of those Mets wins, he did not have Bryce Harper play.
Okay.
Things are going to be a bit different with him in the lineup.
Okay.
And what best believe when Bryce gets into the playoffs, the man becomes a beast. Not that he's not already.
Has Bryce seen the playoffs in his career?
Yes.
I'm going to take you
Okay.
back to
He has.
Yes.
Okay. With the Nationals.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to take you back to 1980.
When was Bryce?
Hold on. I can tell you where I'll.
Wait a minute. 83.
Wah.
Take you back.
That's
Orioles.
what I was back in
This is why I'm
1983.
here. That's why you call me the
No,
wisdom. 'cause
good.
I'm old
Yeah.
enough to
I'm
remember
I'm
this
with
crap.
you in 83. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The Phillies had to play the Dodgers
Sorry.
in
Too
the
easy.
playoffs.
Yes.
The Dodgers had an 11-1 record against the Phillies that season.
Yes. And the Phillies ended up.
They
beating them.
beat us like they owned us, and we got in the playoffs and beat the hell out of them.
We did.
Okay,
And actually, I feel if you want to try to find a silver lining in them, yes, it's all the whole rent free in your head situation with the Mets right now.
Right.
They are a better team on paper. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that.
Much better.
I'd be a liar if I told you they weren't. But are they that much better that they just no? It's you see like if you bookend take 20 games with the Mets right in the middle, right? This team played great defense. Bullpen was great. Starting pitching was great. Offense was great for the most part. But then the Mets came. It was just like a whole different team. They got in their own way. They tripped over their own feet for the most part. Not to sit there and say that I think there could have been at least a split in that series if they weren't so up their own ass at that time. My point is the only thing that you can find a silver lining out of it is just like he was alluding to. They're going to be so overconfident come the playoffs if they do have to meet us that they think they're just going to walk right over us.
I wouldn't go that far.
And they got a little bit of a problem with that. Is that the Mets in the last, I'd say maybe 15 years, maybe longer, have not been very successful.
Different
in
Mets
the
team
playoffs.
this year. This Mets team.
Oh,
I'm gonna
I've
tell you
heard that
something.
for 20
It's
years.
different.
Dave,
It's
I've
definitely
heard that
different.
for 20
Dave,
Are you a Mets fan because
No,
you
I'm
sound
not-
just
I'm not-
no, but I'm saying
I'm not a
asked
Mets
him
fan.
before.
no, but I'm saying this
But-
is exactly what they
But
say.
I'm watching
this
this
is a
team.
different team.
I'm watching this team in and out, and
Dave,
Turn around.
I make a delivery 3 times a week to Staten Island, and across the
I'm
street,
sorry for you.
Pretty much it means he takes a shit in the middle of the road.
Pretty much.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
across the
sorry.
street from where I make this delivery, there's a company that rents tables and chairs for entertainment, right?
Mhm.
And these guys are out in the yard talking all the time, and they know me because they see me all the time. And there was a Met fan there and a Yankee fan. They both work together, and they're going back and forth. The Met fan saying, "Man, we're going to kick your ass in the World Series," and the Yankee fan turned around and said, "It's August 2nd.
talk to me like
You're talking World Series? You're getting ready to Met, my friend." And he ain't lying. And well, if Atlanta passes them in the standings, and what's the record now?
Oh,
They're 2 games back.
You're to see Mets fans like tongues fall out their
They're going to
mouth.
be jumping off the Brooklyn Bridge.
Braves are 2 games back from the Mets right now.
Okay,
No, they're-
2
they're-
games. Where were they in May?
No, don't worry about the Brooklyn.
It was
Bridge,
like 6
Frank,
yeah, it was
because they'll be
you're right.
living with Ben Simmons underneath.
Yeah.
them.
So I'm not. Look, do I fear the Mets? Yeah, their pitching staff is they're scorched earth.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, I mean, it's absolutely scorched earth.
Mhm.
But come the playoffs, all the pressure's on them. The Phillies got nothing to prove. You owned us.
Oh, if they
So
win
you
the,
should-
if they win
you
the
should
division, yeah, I
cakewalk
can
us.
see that.
You should cakewalk us in the playoffs. You own us. And you know what? That kind of thing kind of flips in somebody's head.
Frank, we've seen Nolan in September. Nobody's about.
Hold on. I'm going to put.
Tell me I'm
that
wrong.
pin- I'm going to put.
I'm
that
not
pin-
telling you you're wrong.
I'm going to put a pin in that right now.
You
I've
do
heard
that.
This.
Put a
I've-
pin in it.
I've heard this.
He had
for
his
the
9 innings last night.
Put
He's
a
done.
ring on it.
He's
I
done.
can't argue that. It's
Hold
a
on.
Jalen Hurts
What,
argument.
what did he do the other night? I know it's still August.
It's
but what
not
did he do the
it's
other
not
night?
September.
yet.
I get it. But what did
You
he do?
don't get it.
So you think he's going to fall off a cliff?
No, he's just proven that he has.
It's Nola. He's done it before.
So
Okay, all right.
talk to me when he puts up that kind of performance in September.
I did not plan on talking tonight, but I'm going to talk.
It's not tonight.
I'm
it's in the morning.
going to say the
This
same.
morning.
I'm going to say the same thing I said to Joe. They can't hurt you anymore. You guys have to. I get it. Track records are track records for a reason, and that's how we pay. That's just exactly what I paced with Jalen Hurts when I said earlier. You know, he didn't show. He showed me a track record where he had some flaws in his game, and he's not. You know, I have my worries about it, and as everybody should have worries about September. No, I'm not saying you shouldn't, but let it happen first. Just like I'm waiting for Jalen Hurts to see what happens. I'm not anointing him Jesus Christ, and I'm also not damning him to hell. But I'm going to see what happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Let Nola pitch. Now, once again, I know it was the Reds and blah 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 blah, but it doesn't matter. Listen to any betting expert, any good team in baseball. Good teams are going to win. They're going to win 60 plus games,
They're gonna lose 60 games.
and then bad teams are going to lose. Or I mean, I'm sorry, they're going to win vice versa, win and lose 60 plus games, good and bad.
Right.
My point is that means anytime, at any point, sweeping a team 4-game series is not easy. I mean, I don't care how bad the team is.
No.
I don't care how bad the team is. Sweeping a 4-game series is not easy.
No.
And let me
The
just
Phillies
add
have done it what,
Do you
4
know-
times this year?
3 or 4.
3 or 4.
Three.
And
Three.
and they've
Twice.
I
won.
thought it was 4 with the Dodgers, but
And they've
apparently
won.
it's
And
3
I
or
think
4.
they've won.
No, they lost that Sunday game against the
They-
Dodgers.
they've
That's
won-
why we lost.
I think they've taken at least 3, and they've won 3 other 4-game series.
Right.
Yeah.
So they are bad. Like they're over 700 winning percentage in 4-game series.
I
Now-
guess what I'm trying to say, Al, is I don't want to get sucked in the.
I get it.
Well,
but my
look,
point
and
is,
that's what I'm saying.
My
been
point
11
is
years,
just
and
like
I've been
Joey was
sucked in.
Joey to try and convince me to get on the Jalen Hurts train. The same reason, the same thing here is like, let it happen.
Yeah.
It's okay to be
Enjoy
excited.
the ride.
If you worry like that, it'd be like, why would you even get in your car? Because there's a chance you might get hit by
Look,
a car on the way home.
The Phillies aren't ready to dominate.
No.
Okay, but they are making this season pretty interesting.
They are.
Okay, and they're and all the numbers that I said earlier in the year, 9 to 12,
Right.
200 to 800, and what I followed that up with was if they reach all those numbers, they win 90 games.
True.
Phillies are on a path right now to win 91.
Where are they? 71,
I was at
55 right now.
86.
They're 71 and
Yeah.
55
I
right
was
now.
at 86. So
Yeah.
And
right
they-
now,
Most people were high 80s.
And-
Most people were high 80s.
I had him at 88.
Joe,
I had him at
Joe,
88.
to answer your question,
86.
if they reach those numbers, it'll mean that Nola won 3 games in September. Okay, which would be completely out of the realm of normal for him. Okay,
got 7 starts to do it.
right, and I mean he can win 3 of those 7
Yeah, and
starts.
look at who they're playing. I mean, outside the maybe
Yeah.
the Astros at the end of the
Gotta see
season.
they can see the Giants
I'm
again.
hoping
they-
Playoff
Giants.
I'm hoping they get to that Astros
They
season.
Yes, they got the
They don't, remember,
Braves.
they don't have to see the Mets again.
games.
They
No, they're
don't
done
have
with the Mets. They're done
They
with
have
the Mets.
7
done with the
games with
Mets.
the Braves.
They
They have
see
7
Giants.
games.
They see the Giants for
You
the
know they're
Braves.
500 with right
They have 7 games with the Braves. They
Right.
have the Rockies. They have
now. The
All
Yeah.
beatable teams.
Blue
Astros.
Jays.
Blue Jays.
They
Blue
got
Jays.
two-
I would say your two
two
best
ga-
teams you're playing right now are the
Yeah,
Blue Jays
where-
and
Blue
the
Jays-
Astros.
Where's the Blue Jays series coming in playoff? Like what? That, was
They
like,
have 2 games.
that came out of left
It's a
field.
it's a two.
Had
Well,
a 2-game series.
well, we
they
had-
played them there.
Yeah.
earlier
That's
this
right.
year. Now they're going to play them here.
Okay.
Well, I mean, here's my feeling. It's this argument about the Cardinals and the Pirates and all these losing
Cardinals
teams.
are not a
Cardinals
are
fun-
scary.
They're a
my
scary
point.
They're a
team.
scary squad.
This sounds
They
like
are.
a very similar
Goldschmidt's
argument
2 home runs
Are you
that
away
we
kidding
had
me?
months
He's killing
ago, that we had months ago about the Eagles.
Hurry.
towards the end of the
Arenado
regular
too.
season, about them playing losing teams.
Right.
And like
Only
guys,
play the guys
that-
in front of you.
Right. So why is this the issue? I mean, in the major leagues in baseball, it's harder to get into the show than most other sports.
162 is a lot of games.
Yeah.
No, I get
There's
it.
so many things that
But,
happen during
but
the
what
season.
I'm getting at, Dave, is that you can't devalue. Yes, are the Reds a terrible team? Yes, but they're still a major league ball club.
They double A ball club than me. Go ahead.
I don't know if you were.
No.
Listening. Were you watching Were you listening to the broadcast last night? Did you hear what Crux said? Crux said it's like playing a college team.
Exactly. That's what he said.
He says
Like
like
you play, but like
They were making mistakes, like- yeah, no, you can't help that. But I mean, the Mets played those same guys, and you know they feasted on them, so we're feasting on
Mets
them.
almost lost to the Rockies last night, but they pulled it out in the ninth.
Yeah,
almost
but,
lost.
you know,
They almost got beat.
But I'm saying you can listen in baseball. You know, it's like any given Sunday mentality in football, but it's even higher rate of any given. It should be any given day in baseball because you play 162 games.
It's a lot of games.
And listen, would you be happy if they won 90, anywhere from 90 to 95?
I'd be
How
shocked.
many games does that leave them to lose in the season? 77?
I was 75. I was going to say 76, 77.
77.
Somewhere around there.
So that means you got to lose 77 times. 77 losses. So yes, that's why winning even 3-game sweeps, they're not very
Right now
prevalent.
they have 55 losses.
Now
So it's
4-game sweeps are even harder.
Right.
And they've done it numerous times.
Right.
Yes. Granted, bad teams. That's usually how it's going to happen when a good team plays a bad team.
Right.
Rarely will you see a good team versus a good team, and they're not like take that Mets Phillies series. That first game, you're like, oh, or the first one, the last one in New York, not the one in Philly.
Okay.
Right.
That started off. We're all just sitting there going, oh man. Even though they lost that first game, or was it the second game?
Second
The
game.
1-0 game. The
The first
1-0
game they
game.
came back and
Well,
won.
they won.
it.
Two,
Yeah,
they won 2 to
yeah.
1.
Yeah. Then the 1-0 game. Even after that,
I
we
thought
were
they
all
would split
excited
it,
because
yeah.
we're like, that's a playoff caliber series, and that's what you get. So, Dave, I'm just going to tell you, enjoy the day.
I'm
Yeah.
enjoying the day.
No, you're not.
Enjoy the
You're
ride.
sitting there telling
You're
me
so scared.
when you're sitting there telling me you're so afraid
Get a dog.
to latch on to latch onto this team. I feel like you're not ready to.
Because I've seen it time and time.
We
again.
all have.
You have a better.
You can't live in
different
Philadelphia and not
team.
see that.
All
is
right.
true.
So can we because we're gonna close the show off soon. But
Sure.
can
Can
me and Al, can me, you, and Frank come to an agreement?
Okay.
Just like you just said. So I'll make this on a happier note.
Okay.
Can you enjoy Jalen Hurts?
Absolutely.
Can you enjoy because you just said, Dave, enjoy the day.
Yeah.
I'll say the same thing.
Look,
Take
you-
your
you-
advice and say the same thing to you about Jalen
Enjoy
But
Hurts.
Joe,
Can
here's what you
enjoy
want me to
Jalen
do.
Hurts?
Joe, you want me to take Jalen Hurts with blinders on and just go, let's
No,
go.
no. I'm flipping the script a little.
Okay.
I'm saying, can you just
I knew this was coming, by the way.
can you just enjoy Jalen Hurts?
Absolutely.
That's what we're doing.
That's what we're
But,
doing.
no.
But you keep saying hedging the bets. I'm not hedging my bet with Jalen Hurts. I'm going to enjoy game 1, game 2,
Yeah.
game
Right.
3,
What
game
I-
4, game 5, and I'm going to start making an
All the way to
analysis
17.
because
But
that's
what
my job.
What I don't want
Uh-huh.
is that by week 18,
You're never going to hear me say
you're
that.
going to go.
You'll never hear me say that.
You're never
You're
going to hear
going
me
to go.
say that.
I knew.
No, come on.
I mean, I might say it on
Listen.
purpose just to light you on fire.
Yeah.
But
Told you guys. I told you this was going to happen. No, but I agree with Frank. I will not sit there. Listen, I was a Carson Wentz fan. I was a big Carson Wentz fan until we started seeing.
I was not.
Until we started seeing.
I wasn't convinced that a guy like him be what. Now look, those
You're
11
telling me in
games-
2017
He had
the
a
way
great-
he
he had a great
played.
No,
season.
I
He did.
that was.
we
that
need to
was
go back
fine,
over the video.
But
for
that
that.
was
Yeah.
a flash in the pan.
Remember, this is all on video, so I can go
Uh,
back and check your
Back and
lives.
check them
Yeah,
files.
facts. James, you got homework for the weekend. You need to go
Yeah.
back for 3 years, look through our
Yeah.
YouTube channel, and watch and see what Joey says.
Do your homework, James.
What was Joey saying in
Actually, you weren't here with
October
no, Joey.
2017?
He can't because Joey wasn't here in 2017.
Oh,
You got
wow.
Pattison Ave. We
Damn.
EOP started in 2017.
Wow.
That's right. EOP started and they won a Super Bowl. I'm
He's
just
off
putting
the
it out
hook.
there.
Pattison Ave
I'm-
Phanatics started that team.
I'm just pointing the fact, but it wasn't on
No, the
EOP.
Joy
Is my
Boy.
No, I
point.
know.
My point is, my point is, yeah, I'm enjoying the moment. I'm not sitting here. I'm not pounding my fist on the table going, he won't be an NFL quarterback. He sucks. He's a backup at all.
You
No,
just have a lot of doubt.
I have no, not a lot. I have doubts. That's all. You want to call him a lot? I told you what my doubts are. Is his football IQ getting better? Is his ability to read a defense? That's what I need to see from him.
Yeah,
Outside of that,
that's all.
I'm not even worried about arm strength.
No.
I'm not even worried about that. There's plenty of quarterbacks who've done well without having like this cannon that can throw 80 yards down the field. There's plenty of quarterbacks who've done well past that. A smart quarterback is what I want to see. A guy who can read NFL defenses and make timely decisions. I think you just said that, right? And precision, yes.
Yeah.
Precision.
So precision, yes. Timely, smart decisions.
Right.
That's what we need. That's what made Tom Brady great. That's what made Peyton Manning great. Because we all have a revisionist history. We don't remember that Peyton Manning was like horrible.
An
his first-
interception machine.
Yeah. If we were sitting here, if Peyton Manning was a new quarterback right now and went going through the same problems he had, we'd all be ready to sell his ass down the
But you
river.
also got to remember, Peyton Manning was the best regular season quarterback.
The horseshoe wasn't that lucky.
Well, he did win 2
For a
Super
while.
Bowls. I'm just gonna
Yes, he
point
did.
that out, but-
But later on,
That
in his
bad.
career, later on,
Oh,
in
so did his
career-
brother, if you want to be
And
honest.
to be fair, the Denver Super Bowl was not won by Peyton; it was won by his.
You're
defense.
listen. You're 100%. But what Peyton was smart enough to do, once again, intelligence goes a long way
Get
with
out
me.
while you can.
He was smart. He knew he wasn't what he used to be. He could have went. I'm Peyton Manning. I'm in the Super Bowl. I'm going to be throwing up. I'm going to throw up. No, he's like, I'm going to let the team win this game.
He just did what Russ is doing.
Why Vaughn? That's why Vaughn
Yeah,
Miller was the MVP of that
His
game.
defense in Denver
So
kept
thi- thi-
did
but
did
this
the
is
job
one of-
for him to win that Super
This is
Bowl.
one of the reasons why I feel as confident as I do. Not just the Jalen Hurts aspect; it's the team aspect
Oh,
because
no.
the defense is going to put Jalen in really good
Maddie,
positions.
plug your ears. Howie
No, I'm
has
just
done.
saying though.
Maddie,
You're
where are
incredible
you?
job.
If there are turnovers, if
Yeah.
the defense creates turnovers and gives Jalen a short field, won't that necessarily give Jalen a better opportunity to score?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, here's my thing: is people said that about if you go back and you look at a lot of his success during last season, it was on the short field.
Right.
That was what happened. That did happen a lot. And if you went took any
We were last in
if you took
turnovers.
any
We were last in
hold on,
turnovers
any
on defense.
touchdown, but I think I saw this stat. Any touchdown, especially passing touchdowns away after
Sorry about that.
Yeah. what's wrong?
Glitch, something like that.
You're
I was
fine.
trying to press the Phillies or the Eagles.
No, you're fine. You can just take that down. They can still hear us.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Okay.
But my point is the if you take them away from anything under like I think 40 yards or less, or whatever it was, it's a lot. His numbers dropped significantly. So he didn't have many like winning drives. Those were things that people also complained about him.
Yes.
That's what we need to see from. I want to see that he can win us a game. And
Yeah.
what makes a franchise quarterback is a guy that You can plug and play him on any game, any team, just like Russell Wilson. We all sat there. If we got Russell Wilson, this Eagles team is Super Bowl contender. Before they got AJ Brown, before Hassan Reddick joined the team or Kazir White, we with what we had last year, or even hell, if Russell Wilson came right after the crap year we had in 2020, we were all Super Bowl bound just because Russell Wilson's on it. Jalen Hurts isn't that guy yet.
Yeah.
Or maybe. I don't know.
So Frank, I am so excited. I'm not excited, but I'm looking forward to seeing that AFC West. I think it's going to be interesting,
dude.
Is that division going to be awesome or
Get your
what?
popcorn.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. You see, yeah.
Get your popcorn.
Are you kidding
ready.
me? That
Oh,
division
man,
is
the
going to
AFC
be
I
phenomenal.
It's and you know what? If you're Buffalo, sit there and going, this is so awesome because I only have to play one of them.
Right, exactly. Right, exactly. Right.
I know you guys were talking Phillies.
I think
but yes.
Buffalo's going to.
No, we're saying the AFC West is going to be so interesting to watch.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Are
listen,
you
that's
kidding
what makes. Here's the thing: is NFL's not dumb. They think about it, they have the least amount of games, but they make the most amount of money, right?
amazing.
Look what they do. They turn it into a draft weekend or a draft and it's a bigger spectacle than like half of the MLB season.
Releasing the schedule is
Yeah.
a spectacle.
Oh yeah, they have ESPN.
You could
The
easily
underwear Olympics is a spectacle.
Yeah. But my point is that's what makes football great because rarely do you watch any other baseball game besides the Phillies.
I do. I
Like,
watch. I
I mean,
do. I
but
watch
do you
baseball.
check in?
I
Or
do.
you,
I watch baseball all around.
no. But do you check in or do you sit there like, all right, well, the Cardinals are playing the Reds. I'm going to sit and watch 9 innings.
I can do that. That's me. I can do that.
Wow,
Absolutely.
You have way too much time.
I can watch Kansas City and
I'm not saying I
Baltimore.
can't watch it, but I'm saying, do you often do that, or do you just kind of check in, see what's going on, check scores, look around the league?
It's baseball.
When
I
I'm going
watch
through,
it.
I'll stop.
I don't
and
care.
go,
I'm not saying I
let's
can't
get
watch,
to-
but I'm saying in football,
I'm still
if the
waiting.
Eagles are playing at 4:30, say, or 4:25, whatever it is, whatever 1:00 game's on the TV, you're watching, right?
True.
Even if it's the Browns versus the Ravens, which mean absolutely jack shit to us.
Sunday, you're watching till midnight.
I mean,
Yeah.
my
And then
feeling,
then don't forget when you have the
The NFL
the
packet,
English
you
games,
have all
you
that
know, you get
stuff,
the 9 a.m.
know.
game, you get the
Oh,
1:00
yeah.
game,
Yeah,
you get the 4:00 games,
Yep.
you get the Sunday night football
Yep.
games. Yeah, you're watching at least 4 different games that day,
Yeah.
happily.
Yeah.
And that's what that's
You
what
don't
makes
get that in
fantasy
baseball.
football great because people like now I need to watch. I want to see my
Right.
guy get some
Sure.
points.
oh, that's what baseball wants right now.
Well, they want that, but they're not going to be able to. Listen,
They don't have that.
They
my,
don't-
my brother gave the perfect that he can't stand baseball. He gave the perfect definition of what baseball is. He says it's the only game in the world where you can pack 10 minutes of excitement into 3 hours.
that's why they
This is
struggle.
So true.
That's why they struggle to find this because
But-
baseball's not made for 2022. Unfortunately,
No,
it just
it's
really
not.
isn't. And I'm a huge baseball fan.
You know what baseball?
That
when you go to a
people don't have the
baseball game-
attention for that.
just
Kids
love
don't have the attention unless they're built to like baseball. It is what it is. You like you said, you can go on Philly's Twitter feed and get all the highlights last night and get everything you need to know.
Yeah.
All right.
Mr.
But
YouTube
see-
and
but
watch
see,
the highlights
where
over
I,
there.
When I grew up,
I hear you.
I went to Connie Mack Stadium. So, but
God,
baseball,
you're old.
yeah, I know. What, 61. What do you want me to say? So baseball to me is you go to the game and you sit down and get yourself a beer and a hot dog, and you're with your friends and you're talking, and when something happens, you look up. I mean, that's what happens.
But you also
Baseball.
didn't have 1,000 other.
It's a good.
But you didn't have 1,000 other things that could take your attention away.
Right.
You know, like
Right.
this day and age, like kids,
No,
adults, it
everything's-
doesn't matter. You have your
Everything's about
phone in front of you.
impulse. Everything's about impulse.
I mean, my wife laughs at. I have a big iPad that has a cup holder to it that I put on my seat. So I have one game on, and maybe the Eagles game on there, and then my phone will have a third game on just because I'm
Right.
watching it for fantasy reasons, or if it's a divisional rivalry game and I just want to see if the Cowboys when they lose, it just makes me
I love
so
when the
excited.
camera pans the crowd. You see how many people are doing this.
Well, that commercial you saw for was it MasterCard, the banking commercial,
Yeah.
where like the guys walking out, everybody's like, no, he's not making a bet. He's doing banking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny, but it's damn
It's the
true.
truth.
It's
the
damn
truth.
true.
It's
So-
Maybe not the banking, but they're on their phone, such as.
So, fellas, we're gonna wrap up the show because we're
Yes.
talking about
Let's wrap it up.
commercials.
Yeah.
So it's that's our cue to wrap it up. So,
Mm.
James, why don't you wheel us out of here?
Sure thing. Now, I want to say honestly, it's been an honor to say I've been able to produce it, and I really am sorry about that mess. That mess.
Stop.
You
You
did
don't
a
mess up the
great
curve. Remember that.
job.
You're
Never made a
fired.
mistake.
Good
Listen,
I
guys.
say
Yeah,
the same
yeah,
thing.
real quick. I'm going to take this for a second.
Uh-oh.
James Scourge did an amazing job.
Yes, he did.
He did.
He sat and watched me do one, and then he sat and did one on his own. There was no in between. I didn't sit here and go, let's do a fake run through. He did it live.
Toss them off
That's
the
not
boat.
easy to do.
Toss
We're
them off
doing
the
it
boat.
live. Fuck it.
Yeah, I mean,
Go, James, go.
he took the baton and ran very well with it.
I appreciate
Even
that.
I make mistakes now and then. So, and I've been doing this for.
No.
I know.
Nuh-uh.
Even my wife's going.
Liar.
What?
In the words of Matty B.
But why don't
Talk about clipping out a clip.
Yeah, right. I know, very shocking. Why don't you take down the
No clips
the comment
tonight.
for a second? Give us our give a big old thanks to our sponsors that make this happen, and then we'll head on out.
Sure thing. Let's thank our, I guess I could say, Philly Sports Trips is always on the table of what happens in 2022. And mind you, that it's coming very, very soon. So on September 25th, the Birds trip to Washington, D.C., and I guess whatever their team is called, I guess it's still
The
called.
commies.
We'll call it-
Commander.
We'll call it
know
the-
We're the commanders. Dum, 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 dum.
I'm gonna leave
Washington
that there.
Commanders
I'm gonna leave
away.
that one there.
Lower level ticket, bus, food, entertainment, and drinks all available at phillysportstrips.com. And also the purchase of $325 for all that. That is at phillysportstrips.com.
Real quick, on that, I believe August 31st is the cutoff, and 1,000 people. So if it hits that first or August 31st, you're out. So you got what, a week?
Whichever
You got to
comes
Wednesday.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should know that's my son's birthday.
Less than a week.
Get your tickets pronto because it's
Yeah.
like coming very, very soon.
And
also
folks, when we
it's ending
say-
very soon too.
When we say food, we are not talking about hot dogs and burgers.
Yeah.
We are talking like premier food. They will
Excellent.
feed you well.
And listen, I know one thing is that we also push the bus trip a lot, but you want to go to Wrigley? That's still available for later that week.
When is that trip?
That trip's right after this one. I think it's
Okay.
like the 27th or something.
Can't do anything like that this year.
Yeah,
I'm booked up with
but they have
weddings.
every away game, every home game for the Eagles. They already have the spring training set up for next season for the
so
Phillies, which I may or may be on. I'll let you know.
So
yeah.
how I threw this out in the Flames final. I'm not sure if Vince picked it up, but maybe you could drop the line. If we face the Mets in the playoffs,
Oh, listen, I'm not going to talk for him, but when playoffs start, Philly Sports Trip, they threw a Tampa trip together last year
know.
for the Eagles.
I know.
So and they had a lot of people go. I think it was like
Yeah.
500-600 people, and that was putting it together in less than 5 days.
I want to make Queens our bitch.
Listen, if it's especially if it's coming close like the Mets, it's a bus trip. That's a lot easier for them.
Yeah,
They don't have to worry
it's
about
really
setting
easy.
up planes and all
Yeah,
that
no,
stuff.
it's
I
easy to
guarantee he'll
schedule.
have one.
You don't need hotel rooms. You know,
Yeah,
it's
I
just
mean,
tickets and a
yeah.
bus.
And
Because that way I can go and have a DeGrom jersey on and say this is what a real Met pitcher looks like.
oh wow.
Go ahead.
And
Go
if
ahead, James.
Jacob DeGrom wants to sue our network, no, I'm just teasing.
Very good.
God forbid.
That was awesome.
That give David Archery a call at
We might need him for
601
defense for that.
565 workers' compensation, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, criminal law.
Apparently defamation now
yeah.
as well.
Defamation, libel,
And
and
hopefully
slander.
we don't get sued. JerryandJoel.com.
Before the show is over.
And lastly but not least, the lineup of Edge of Philly Sports is growing by the day, like
That's
Tommy
amazing.
Kelly would say.
Looks like a TV schedule.
And yeah,
Kinda
it
is.
does.
It does.
Kinda
And
is.
thanks
Yeah.
to Pain
Kinda
Lights
is,
for
bro.
all these
Yeah.
great shows. Tonight today we had the Pattison Ave Phanatics show. Then we had the pregame tonight with the Dolphins and postgame, and also Matty B, who's the busiest man in the business. Nobody
I'll
does
give
it
you
better
guys a
than
little
him.
insider information. There's a good chance you might hear my voice again on the post game show. Just putting it out there.
Ooh.
And it should be a fun night of Philly sports overall, guys. It's
that
been
tonight?
fun. I really enjoyed it, and I gotta say that this is a big step in my development of becoming
Yes,
the
it
best.
is.
One of the next few, brother.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Now for Joe Marks, for Dave Yarno, Frank Finnegan, Al Safari, Tom Kelly, and Damon Suleiman, all the
Don't
crew
forget
here.
about Dad.
And
Yeah.
my pops as well. Joe Scorza. What's that? Yeah, I said Tom
Yeah.
Kelly
Yeah,
as well,
he did.
and all the crew here on the Pattison Avenue Fanatics show. Have a great weekend. Go Birds, go Phillies, and we'll see you next week.
Later.
Birds go Phils.
Later.
So